A 5-year, $115 million contract this offseason, is expected to miss about a month with a broken thumb on his throwing hand.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, and an app that lets you bank anytime, anywhere, choosing Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Look out for the Indianapolis Colts. They have Carson Wentz. Are you scared, Jacksonville? A little lukewarm on this one. Not surprising that he goes to Indianapolis. Frank Reich all in on Carson Wentz. It's not the worst deal for either team. Still trying to debate who won the deal. And I think it showcases more that Philadelphia wants to get rid of Wentz than it does even Indianapolis wants Wentz. Although they certainly give up, a second that could be a first and a third-round pick, and then they've got to, bite the bullet on the money. But keep in mind, on the money part, they've got a ton of money to play with. That's one thing about Indianapolis. They have a lot of money available, and so the money does not hamper them. It does not handicap them at all, even over the next couple of years. Now, they would pay an enormous figure to Carson Wentz if he just plays 1 or 2 years there and fizzles out and he never regains what they hope he is. But if you really stretch it out and he has some success, I mean, you're talking a very average salary over, I think, like the 4 years of it that could be in Indianapolis. So I think I like the move for Indianapolis. I don't know if I love the move for Indianapolis. We talked earlier in the week, and if you missed some of that, this was not a die on the hill Blake Bortles moment again. I've done that already. That hill's long gone. This was more about Wentz and Goff, and I compared the stats to Blake Bortles. And we know how the league feels about Blake Bortles. And it's interesting to see how they feel, like Indianapolis does, to be able to put this deal together for a guy like Carson Wentz, who, quite frankly, doesn't have that much more impressive numbers than Blake Bortles did over the same amount of games, albeit about 25 less interceptions. So that certainly is a factor. But again, I'm not saying Blake Bortles is better than those guys. I'm just saying that's the class of quarterback we're talking about. They are lumped in a little bit together from a statistical standpoint, and you can't just live on statistics. So, again, I don't want to over-dramatize this part of the story. I just found that very interesting. Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Blake Bortles, they are in. You can draw a circle around those guys when you look at games, completion percentage, yardage, touchdowns in their NFL careers. The interception stands out a little bit differently for Bortles, like I said, by 20 to 25. So that's significant. I don't want to dismiss that. But they are in this same area. And we just saw the Lions say, okay, we'll take this for Matthew Stafford, and we're going to go forward with Goff, who did appear in a Super Bowl, but now we'll be without Sean McVay. And now we see Indianapolis try to rescue a guy like Carson Wentz, who for that 1 year was MVP candidate, but still has not had the ability to stay healthy very much for a full season, and now seems like he's regressed in a big-time way in the NFL. So I find that part of it pretty interesting, and a lot more money on the hook, by the way, for Wentz and Goff. So that's the Blake Bortles part for me, and that's what makes me wonder and sit here and be like, okay, Indianapolis, it's not a bad move. I just don't know if it was your best move. We said yesterday, do you go make a play if you're Indianapolis for a guy like Ben Roethlisberger? They kind of did that with the old quarterback that can't move with Phillip Rivers. So I understand not going that route. Do you do it with Jimmy Garoppolo? Is there more upside to Jimmy Garoppolo taking on about the same amount of cash? Or do you make another play in the draft for one of these quarterbacks that now becomes your guy? One thing about it with Wentz is that they have a very good team. It doesn't matter what quarterback they brought in. Indianapolis has a very good team. They have parts. I don't know if they're Super Bowl good, especially in the AFC with the Chiefs and what the Ravens have been able to do. And maybe now you look at the Bills and even the Browns, right? So there's a bunch of teams there. But they have a very good team. I truly believe that. It's a team that a lot of people would sign up for. I guess the question you have to ask with Carson Wentz is, does he elevate them and make them better? And I thought about this question coming over here to the show today. And I guess this one's for you, Jags fans. The Indianapolis Colts get Carson Wentz. The Indianapolis Colts already have a pretty good football team. They have a better football team than your Jacksonville Jaguars. So for the next 3 to 5 years, as the Jaguars, Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence build this thing, are you afraid of Indianapolis? Like, does that make you, whoa, oh boy, they have Carson Wentz now? And I don't think it does. Like, I just don't. I don't think there's one person in Jacksonville today saying, oh, man, shoot. We got Trevor Lawrence, but look at that. They have Carson Wentz now. Now, maybe we say that in a year. Maybe we say that by October if he's playing good football. It's possible. But I just don't look at the AFC South and say, oh, boy, look out now. Indianapolis is on a run because they got Carson Wentz. And I think that's the reality of it as it pertains to us around here in Jacksonville, the AFC South. Like, is Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill still the favorite in the AFC South, with Derrick Henry still the favorite in the AFC South with what they've been able to do, more so than Indianapolis with Carson Wentz? I would say yes, because the Carson Wentz move has a big-time question mark. And then, of course, you have Houston, and Houston is Houston, and the Jags, quite frankly, right now, are the Jags. It's a Titans-Colts conversation in the AFC South until the Jags and Texans can prove otherwise. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane will be here in just a few moments. Coos here on a Thursday, and I love it. This time of year, I thought we had a little bit of a lull, but we got the QB carousel spinning again. There was some Ben Roethlisberger talk yesterday. We got Carson Wentz now, and we got a bunch of stuff on the plate today. Fernando Tatis signs that big deal. We got this question on the title, and I want you to think about this, is when I grow up, I want to be blank. And the blank is a baseball player, a football player, a basketball player, a hockey player. I'm talking sports now. Like, where do you go if you feel like, hey, I can make a heck of a living? And Fernando Tatis is the latest to sign one of these big deals. So that's where I think that part's interesting. By the way, pitchers and catchers report, spring training is here. Jumbo shrimp schedule is out. So there's a lot of stuff happening.
That's what I was about to say. I'm trying to work on a story right now for the jumbo shrimp schedule because I was tied up in some meetings, so I'm trying to get that blog out now. Do
you see the jumbo shrimp, by the way, which it's great that their schedule's out. They didn't play last year because of the pandemic, so that's good. They will play Norfolk 42 times. Oh. They're going to play Norfolk 42 times. That's unbelievable.
That's a lot. I mean, do they play anybody else like that? A similar
Nobody
amount?
like that amount, I don't believe. No, but seriously, it's 42 times. And what's the schedule in AAA? Like 150 something or 140 something?
Oh, hold on, I have it.
And they're playing them 42 times.
142.
Yeah, so 142 and 42 of those games. So essentially, a little bit less than a third of their schedule is against one team. That is absolutely mind-boggling. So anyway, we'll visit those topics in baseball coming up as well. A couple of topics we did not get to yesterday on the plate today. I thought it was interesting coming off the Daytona 500 that Alvin Kamara is now investing in a NASCAR team. So now we have Michael Jordan, Pitbull, and Alvin Kamara involved in NASCAR. How good is that for the sport? I certainly can't hurt the sport, by the way. So there's no negative here. But how good can it be? Can people like that from outside NASCAR help grow the game, if you will, but grow the sport of NASCAR to new audiences? And I'm sure that's what NASCAR is hoping. And this is going to be an interesting story to follow, I think. I mean, Alvin Kamara is a popular guy, certainly not as popular, to be honest, as Pitbull and even Michael Jordan. But, I mean, you have two mega stars from the music industry and Michael Jordan, who transcends everything. And now you have a current star player in Alvin Kamara getting involved in NASCAR. Why NASCAR? Why are these folks getting involved in NASCAR? Is there more opportunity for that? Are there other sports like that? And I would say soccer and some of these minor league, if you will, they're still professional, but smaller soccer clubs, you've seen the same. There's been like that ownership by committee. Heck, even here in Jacksonville, Tim Tebow, Daniel Murphy, those guys own part of the Iceman. They're part of the ownership group. Do we like that? Is that a good thing for these sports? And I would say NASCAR right now is at the front end of that with some of the big names that they had. So we'll get to that. Steph Curry's playing lights out. Little NBA chatter today on Steph Curry because he has obviously come back. Didn't he hit a big winner yesterday too? This was a topic yesterday, and then he delivered with a big winner yesterday, right?
He always does. He has these crazy shots that just, how do they go in?
He annoys me less these days, which is good.
Well, I forget who it was. Someone else also joked about that recently, saying like, well, at least we can be excited about the Warriors now.
Yeah. So we'll catch up on that topic. Austin is coming in here shortly. I don't know if we've ever had somebody miss the start of the show because they're getting a tattoo, Coos.
Yeah, I don't.
He's like seriously getting a tattoo today. Like he told us yesterday, he said, I'm getting a tattoo. I think it started at noon. And so Austin is on his way in, be here in about 5 minutes. But because of the tattoo. So,
I'd imagine it's pretty involved if it's not like a larger tattoo.
I wonder what it is. I mean, he's running out of skin to put the tattoos. He's got a bunch of them. So we'll catch up with Austin, his thoughts on Carson Wentz coming up here in a bit as well. Allen Robinson back in the news a little bit. There was another article written on Allen Robinson, and it goes back to the conversation we had A-Rob on Super Bowl week. And I thought there was one interesting part, and this is going to be a little bit of a pat on the back. Apologies, folks, but there were three. Ty Dunn is who wrote the story, and he has a website, and it was a very lengthy article, well done on A-Rob. And he said he wants to get paid market value. He wants to win a Super Bowl. So, feels like wherever he goes, can he win a Super Bowl? He didn't necessarily say it has to win this year, Super Bowl contender this year. But I think everybody plans that way if you can. The problem is, can you find a Super Bowl contender that will pay you market value? That's a little trickier. But then the third part of that was Canton, Ohio, and Hall of Fame. And I don't know if I put this in A-Rob's head or not. I don't want to take credit for something I shouldn't deserve credit for. But when I pitched A-Rob to Jacksonville, I pitched him Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence will help inflate those numbers to make a run at Canton, Ohio for Allen Robinson. I brought up guys like Calvin Johnson and Marvin Harrison, and I gave statistics to A-Rob. And so, if you don't mind, I'm going to take a little credit for that part of it. And if so, Jacksonville, are you in play to help A-Rob get to Canton, Ohio someday? I don't think it's out of the realm. He's got to step on the gas a little bit in some of the numbers, but I really don't think it's out of the realm for Allen Robinson. I also thought about this today. Allen Robinson is quietly, one of the favorite players I've covered now. I was thinking about it a little bit more. I like the fact that he's talking to people. He came on with us. He's done a couple other interviews. I think he did one with Sirius XM, maybe Super Bowl week or the week after, and then this article and a lengthy article. I like the fact that he's not shying away from the conversation. I think that part's cool because a lot of people just stay silent, and that's okay too. But Allen Robinson's not. He also isn't sitting there slamming anybody or bad-mouthing anybody. He knows he's one of the top wide receivers available in free agency. He has earned the opportunity to explore and get a big paycheck. And I think he's going to do that. And he's also been very productive in his career. And just kind of the maturation of Allen Robinson, the growth. I think he's a really likable guy. And I like the fact that he's a little transparent with everybody, even in this kind of process. So quietly becoming one of my favorites that I've covered here in Jacksonville and beyond is Allen Robinson. If I say that a lot, maybe even if I say it to him, maybe that will even help him come back to Jacksonville. I love the fact that Jags fans want Allen Robinson back in a Jaguars uniform. So a month away from free agency, Allen Robinson, I would think, is still in play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Keep in mind, Super Bowl contender, winning team, all those things are fair questions about Jacksonville, but market value, that limits the field. Okay, if you're going to pay somebody $20 million, $18, $19, $20 million a year, well, that limits the field now. And so I think that's why Allen Robinson certainly is in play. Hey, last night, Tim Tebow retired from baseball. I'm not going to get into this heavy right now, but I do want to talk about it. In hindsight, the 5-year experiment for Tebow, really 4 years playing in the minors, was it a success? Do you look at it in a bad way? How do we view what Tebow did or attempted to do in hindsight? Listen, he hit 223 in 287 games. Made it to AAA. He was a AA All-Star. He had some really cool moments. I showed this on TV last night, and I still think this was pretty awesome. Tebow, we were covering the Masters a few years back. It would have been, 17? I think it would have been 17. Covering the Masters, obviously in Augusta. And Tebow, so I think we go up there like Tuesday, Wednesday. And Tebow on a Thursday night is making his debut in Class A with the Columbia Fireflies. Well, it turns out it's only like an hour and 15 minutes from Augusta. So we leave Augusta that afternoon. We go up and get Tebow's professional debut with the Columbia Fireflies. Go to batting practice. He gets up. Place is packed, of course. Right? Certainly a draw. And first at bat, his professional career, hits a home run. And the place goes crazy. I mean, it was a really cool moment. First home run in instructional ball, I think like a year or two earlier, he hit a home run. So it was kind of fun to follow the Tebow baseball career. Certainly upended by two things. One, he hadn't played in forever. So the climb to get back up to that level, even if he could have played that level coming out of high school or even college, well, when you separate playing baseball for like a decade, that's a very difficult thing to do at anything other than maybe riding a bike. But that part was already difficult. The other thing is his age was, he's what, 33? And on top of that, they lost a year last year. So he goes to AAA. He's in the Mets organization. Doesn't really do that well there in AAA. Then has an injury that cuts his season short. Well, he didn't get a chance to build on it last year because of the pandemic and no minor league baseball. So this was not a surprise that he hangs up the baseball cleats. But I am curious, and we'll get Austin's take on it too when he comes in. Just, is that a bad experiment? Is that on the resume of Tebow? Is it just going to be a footnote? How do you feel about it? And what other sports stars really should try another sport? I think is a fascinating question. We've Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders and all the rest, but we have I think a lot of basketball players that go play tight end in football. We have those kind of stories. Who else could go play another sport? So a lot of things to get to here on a Thursday, a fun Thursday ahead. And the tattoo man is here.
What
Got
up?
A plastic bag around the right wrist area.
Better believe it.
ESPN 690 tattoo.
Pretty much. I'm dedicated.
So what do we got here?
Well, you wouldn't it's from an anime. You don't do the anime scene.
You can explain to listen. I don't understand half the stuff you say on this show. You're not talking to me all the time.
That's a dang good point. Well, first of all, let me start by saying I appreciate you giving me a little time to get here because in ESPN 690 we don't take personal days, we take personal minutes.
That's right.
So I appreciate that.
Plenty of them. Personal
minutes it is. But so it's from an anime called Cowboy Bebop, which Stuart's actually a really big fan of. We talked about it before on this show. And I got basically a saying from that anime. It's you're gonna carry that weight. Which if you've seen the anime, you know what that means at the end. It's one of the last quotes of that whole thing. So
this is somewhat new, though. Like, a lot of times tattoos will come from something inspired for kind of a while. I mean, this is.
Sure.
Are you a little concerned this might be a fad thing here?
Oh,
like,
no,
this
because
isn't going away now.
No, because this anime, and we've had this conversation. It's one of my top 3 of all time. You know how into I am. And I watched it when I was a kid because it's one of the older ones out there. And it was one of the very first things I ever really got emotional about because of ending it. Once again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it was from the 90s, so it's not like I'm really spoiling it now.
Catch up, people.
Catch up, everybody. But the story behind that whole show and how it transpires to the end where this quote comes into play, it always kind of stuck out with me a little bit, and I've always kind of lived my my life with that phrase. Like, no matter what you do right now, you're going to carry that weight in the future. Like every decision that you make will affect yourself in the future. So that's kind of why I got it. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really a fad. I think I have some fad tattoos for sure. This isn't one of them.
Yeah. So what's the exact quote again?
You're going to carry that weight.
You're going to carry that weight.
Yeah, which is actually a Beatles song as well.
Unfortunately, sure I feel like I am carrying that weight. And hopefully I don't carry more.
Well, and it's from a Beatles song, which I know you're diehard fans of them. So
yes.
I figured you would recognize it from that.
I should have known that. That's where I thought it was from.
Sure,
I didn't know you were
go.
Such a big Paul McCartney fan.
Yeah. Or George Harrison, right? Right? Yeah, you can name all 4 of them. There we go. And, of course, John Lennon to bring it home.
So on the pain threshold, where was this one?
Not gonna lie,
talking, like, that's a sensitive spot.
Well,
man.
yeah, and so
like you just got it on the inside of your wrist,
and it's like a negative tattoo where like the lettering is actually my skin. and everything else is black. So you can kind of see it right here.
Yeah, I can see.
So,
I think that's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. So a little less than ideal because I didn't really eat anything either because I was fasting, obviously. Not the best decision to get a tattoo with. But overall, the pain scale, I would say a 5 out of 10.
Well, how much? What would it be for me?
10 out of 10. 12 out of 10.
Where would you say it was comparable pain-wise to like other spots of your body?
Ooh, good call, Kuz. I would say the middle of your arm here, like your tricep, kind of. Yeah, that
a flexing
area.
Opportunity.
Yeah, pretty much. Where's the camera again?
I would say right here.
This area right here, and kind of right here in that tricep region.
Because
When
I'll
you
say
get it right here.
Yeah.
Used to shove bear claws right.
Because, like, I'll say my shoulder didn't hurt at all.
No,
but then
the
when I got
shoulders-
my wrist one, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was amplified.
I look at a guy like Kuz.
Yeah.
Like I look at you and I say, okay, he might be a 50 tattoo guy. I look at
50
Kuz
tattoo guy.
and he might not. I don't. When you set the over under at 2, I go under.
It's very unassuming
Like
with Kuz.
I don't know why. I mean, sorry to judge you like that.
But
Kuz,
no, and with all due respect to Kuz, he got. I mean,
why do you have a rose as one of your tattoos?
A rose? Big
Big Bachelor fan.
big Bachelor fan,
Big Bachelor guy. But no, like, I mean, he's got minimal tattoos, but like he's got like the wrist is an aggressive spot to get one. Like it's not the most comfortable spot, let's just say.
No, it was not
I'm still
comfortable.
kind of mapping out where I'm putting my first tattoo.
And I'm super pumped to throw punches tonight too at MMA. This is just gonna be
That's gonna feel great.
fantastic.
You okay to do that? You're allowed to do that? You have to tape it up even more?
Nah, I'll be fine.
Like when will you take that off?
After training tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I really think these things through, don't I?
Seriously, like, well, yeah, why didn't you do it now? Why couldn't you wait for another month?
No, because so the studio that I go to, they're super booked because they're very popular here in town. So when they have an opening, you got to take it. Hence why I had to sacrifice a little time. I mean, Black Hive Tattoo, absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Black Hive Tattoo.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, seriously, I'm not being critical here.
Yes.
But, like, how many tattoos do you need? I mean, how many do you have now?
I mean, I'd stop counting to tell you the truth.
Like, I get the
like, I'm
point.
covered, dude. Like, it's
I
not
get
like
the
I
point.
count.
Like, how many do you need?
More. You know, more. They're addicting. Kuz, you can back me up. They're addicting. I mean, you only got 2 of them, right?
Very
but they're
much
addicting.
so.
Yeah.
I went to get my second one, and I was like, this is the last one I'll ever get. And now I'm like already thinking about it.
Really?
I mean, the way I look at it is, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Nicole and I almost, while we were in, she'll probably be upset that I'm sharing this. While we were in Savannah drinking, we almost got tattoos.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's not
there's
the
a lot
smartest.
of people that have done that.
On a whim.
Yeah.
That's not, I don't recommend doing that.
Kuz gets the show logo.
No, for sure.
Us.
Yeah. The cartoon caricatures.
Yeah.
I would be impressed. I would autograph that one. I actually did that one time. We had that story before, didn't we? Where I autographed the lady's
I don't
arm.
understand why you don't know how many tattoos. Like, did you just lose count? You don't want to look in the mirror and count?
No, I mean, I seriously
you do
lost
that for
count.
me while you were peeing in the sink.
Is my wife listening?
Yeah.
Mute?
How about Cody? Does she like?
Yeah.
Are you going to keep getting? I want you to
Well, I
cover
mean,
up
she
your
has.
left arm.
She's got my arms, but yeah, she's got like a sleeve tattoo. So yeah, she's up there as well.
What's her latest tattoo?
Ooh, good call. She got. It's funny. She got sage, like this. You know.
Oh, really?
She got sage, and then
Big Kyrie Irving fan.
Yeah. So yeah, she's a diehard Kyrie fan. No, she's got a hand holding sage, and then our son's name on the
cool.
sage thing. So she got an inside of her arm. That's an aggressive spot.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm looking forward. I like this. So I like that. What did you call it again? Reverse?
Negative space tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah. But
like it.
yeah, to answer your question, it's not going to stop anytime soon, man, because the more life I live, the more inspiration I find.
Yeah, you have tattoos all over your chest.
I mean,
right?
my entire
back?
chest is so my back and my chest are entirely covered.
They're covered.
Yeah, it's like there's zero
So
space.
you got no
left.
space.
Zero space. So that's why I lost count.
Will you ever get a face tattoo?
No. My mom had 2 rules for me living in her house. Couldn't get a neck tattoo or a face tattoo. I guess more than 2 rules. I couldn't get my hands tattooed and couldn't get gauges, which I was super bummed about. You know what gauges are? Like the holes in it? I wanted those so bad.
She didn't like that.
Mom said absolutely not.
Interesting.
So I never got them. Yeah.
What age are the kids going to come to me and say, I want a tattoo?
Well, my son's already into it. He's asking. I'm like, you're going to wait, little dude. Sorry.
Wow, that'd be kind of cool, actually. Go to like 3rd grade and have a tattoo.
We going to call child services on me?
Get like a Pikachu on it.
That's bold. You can't call child services because a kid got a tattoo.
Yes, you can.
Why?
Because that's inhumane. To have a 3rd grader get a tattoo.
I don't think they like that idea.
You can't do that?
It's not the most pleasant thing in the world to get.
If he wants one, he wants one.
No, bro. Heaven forbid Ty or Kaylee came up to you in 3rd grade.
Ty's already got 3.
There is something to be said for playing baseball. You got a nice, cool sleeve tattoo there for
What's the
to
difference
show
between
off
getting
on.
your ears pierced as a kid and getting a tattoo?
Because the
Both
piercings
hurt.
can go away. One's permanent, one's not permanent. I had both my ears pierced. Not anymore.
It'd be great. Like, take your kid and just, like, put, like, your name on him.
What
And he has no
goes-
choice.
What goes through your head, Brett?
Told you I was having some weird dreams.
If you had
I
like
guess
twins, I get
so.
it. Put their name on it, and then you know.
Oh, if they're identical, maybe.
Well, yeah, like identical
yeah.
twins.
I didn't know you could. I really didn't feel like that. Like, if you get a kid got a tattoo, you get child services. Like, what's the age? You have to be 18 to get a tattoo?
I think you have to be an adult. Or I think it's 16 with their parents' permission.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't be 15 with your parents'
I
permission.
mean, listen, man. If you can drive, then you can get a tattoo. If you can't drive, then probably not.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I want your thoughts on Carson Wentz.
Third
Who won
grade.
the deal? What does it mean for the...
Yeah.
Hey, Ronan wants a tattoo. Get him a tattoo. We'll be back on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Becoming partly cloudy, breezy, and warm today. Highs in the low 80s with just a widely scattered afternoon shower or thunderstorm in a few spots. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jax for the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, zero-interest financing with nothing down.
Everyone at CGC Water hopes your new year is off to a fantastic start, and CGC Water wants to give you the gift of clean drinking water. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. Now that's clean water. Right now, CGC Water is offering $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. If you're still not filtering your water, you are the filter. Schedule your free water test today and get peace of mind knowing your family's water is safe water. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Remember, this is a limited time offer. $1,000 off a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of a Kinetico Premier Softener. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Would you like to be the man you used to be? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. 98% of their patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Listen to Dr. Brown, a specialist in men's health.
Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications for ED or PE designed just for you. There's no pain or surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, not a problem. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Contact Prime Men's Medical Center to schedule a private consultation. 904-664-8217. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Hey, boss, how's it going?
How's it going? Oh, let me tell you how it's going. So far this year, I've broken my pinky toe, had a flat tire, and currently I'm trying to pass a kidney stone the size of Rhode Island.
Well, karma strikes again.
What?
Nothing. Oh, look, it's the first Crooks Are Us survey of 2021. They're asking crooks like us to list the top reasons we avoid safe touch houses.
There's the crash and smash technology, the video monitoring.
Yeah, but what's number one?
Gotta be the two-way communicator.
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. The two-way communicator leads to verified alarms, which lead to faster response times, which are all very bad for us crooks.
Which all just circles back to the Crooks Are Us golden rule. Stay away from safe touch houses.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about the all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota, where they're celebrating with savings all month long. What are you waiting for? Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 Corolla LE or a new 2021 Camry LE. You choose. 0 down or buy for just $249 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Celebrate with savings and come see the new showroom at Arlington Toyota today. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/February for full details.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. and the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
The March to Get Screened 5K, sponsored by the Borland Groover Foundation, is coming up March 28th. It's Rich Jones. Join me to raise funds for colon cancer awareness, life-saving screenings, and more. Check it all out at marchtogetscreened.com.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
Then I said, still looking for his fourth career sack.
Austin Lane.
I'm spending pretty much every single day with somebody for pretty much 2 years now that you know somebody. And they surprise you. I sit here before you right now, and I am surprised.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
The Eagles had what they thought was a franchise quarterback. They paid him $1 trillion. They basically sat by and watched him tear apart their entire franchise. They fire the coach. They create a ridiculously bad situation. They win a Super Bowl without him. And now when they finally trade him, they thought they were going to get a Matthew Stafford-like package. They get a third-round pick this year and a conditional 2 that could turn into a 1. That is so much less.
All right, who won the deal? That's Greeny, of course. Yeah. Mike Greenberg from ESPN. You can hear him right here on ESPN 690. I think there's a little mix here on who won the deal. I don't know if I would go get Carson Wentz. We had this conversation earlier in the week. Again, I
think we had it yesterday, didn't we?
It might have been yesterday. Yeah. It's funny because I don't not like Carson. I actually think I like Carson Wentz better than Goff as a player. Now, he doesn't have this baggage all of a sudden. Goff doesn't come with that kind of baggage. But if Sean McVay, an offensive guy, doesn't think he can get Goff to go where he wants him to go, and he gives up on him, that's not a good indication. In fact, you just have the complete opposite. You have Frank Reich, who thinks he can rescue Carson Wentz, so there's something in there.
Well, and they had a relationship before.
Well, of course they do. But, I mean, he still needs to win. He's not going to bring anybody in just because. Mm-hmm. But you said, the ceiling, you've seen the ceiling, or you've seen the good from Carson Wentz. I don't know if it's a ceiling.
Yes.
And so you believe in that, right? I mean, it's like you make a first impression, you believe in that. Doesn't matter if you have 3 bad outings after it, you believe in what you saw.
Yep.
I mean, so I get that.
If you bring in a quarterback, you bring him in based off the good that he's done, set aside from the bad that you've seen.
Yeah.
Usually.
Well, and so if you look at this deal, a second round and a third round, and really a second round that could become a first round, that's fine if it does. And then the contract that they took on. Now, there's $34 million in dead money, 33.8 for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
The Eagles didn't get a ton in return. They got Wentz off the books. Well, eventually.
Yeah.
They don't have to commit to him anymore. I got a potential first rounder, second round pick, and a third. Listen, that's not bad, but it's not like they got 2 first round picks.
No.
So this is a guy that was in the conversation for MVP a few years ago, okay? And you paid him $128 million. So I really don't feel like the Eagles got much for it. I would have kept him on this kind of deal. I think the Colts, although I don't know if I would have chased him as my top priority, I think it's a pretty good deal for the Colts. I think with all the money they have, eating some of the money early in the contract doesn't affect them. And I think the chance to resurrect his career is pretty good. It's a good gamble. I think the Colts win the deal.
I don't think it's even close.
Really?
I think the Colts made out like bandits. I think that it was a genius move on their part. Now, I get it, man. And I see on Twitter, people want to crack jokes, what are the Colts doing, stuff like that. I couldn't disagree more. I think the Colts did a great job of securing a quarterback talent for their team who was obviously one maybe player away from going to the Super Bowl in Carson Wentz. Because take a look at it like this. Last year, Phillip Rivers comes in. Now, at the time, yes, there might have been some intrigue about Phillip Rivers, but let's be honest. We saw him in L.A., all right? We saw what it looked like. And when you had guys like Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry and Austin Eckler, like, you still can get the job done. Now, when you play the Jaguars, you had no problem. But who didn't, okay? But for the most part, like, the overall consensus of Phillip Rivers is the fact that I think, well, this guy's kind of on the back nine. Like, how much does he really have left? He goes to Indianapolis, who has probably less weapons at his disposal. It's close, probably less weapons than he did with the Chargers. But what did he have? A great offensive line. And anytime you have a great offensive line, that can build your confidence. Now, it's not like Phillip Rivers had these Pro Bowl-type numbers, especially during the beginning of the season. Now, as the season dragged on, things like that, he started up the game a little bit, got the pass game a little more. And then, obviously, the emergence of Jonathan Taylor made a big difference as well. But Phillip Rivers wasn't the reason why they lost the playoff game. Okay, now the last image you're going to have of him is throwing that Hail Mary that kind of fell 10 yards flat. But besides that, Phillip Rivers did what he needed to do to have success in Indianapolis. With Carson Wentz now, I feel like you get an upgrade. I feel like Carson Wentz is an upgrade from Phillip Rivers from last season. I really do. And I think that if you surround Carson Wentz with an offensive line that's A, going to give you confidence, and then you surround him with a running game, B, Jonathan Taylor, which is going to give you confidence, and then you have suitable wide receivers. Now, we'll see. I think T.Y. Hilton is going to be a free agent, right?
Yeah.
We don't know about him. I mean, Michael Pittman's coming on. They got a couple other guys.
A good team.
Yeah, they're a great team, and obviously in defense.
They're a good team.
They're a good team that could be great. Let's just say it like that.
I like that.
And they have a defense that can play complementary football. There's a lot of things to like, I think, if you're Carson Wentz. And that's the biggest thing. He needs confidence. So you went to a team that can provide that confidence.
Listen, this is a great situation for Carson Wentz. Mm-hmm. I think it's a fantastic. I mean, you couldn't ask for a much better situation if you're a quarterback to go somewhere and hope put all the parts around you. Really good. What I debate is what you said about the upgrade. I don't know that. I think Phillip Rivers played well for them. I think Phillip Rivers did a good job from them. I don't know what they're getting in Carson Wentz.
Well, you're getting a dual threat guy, though, Brent. You can't deny that.
Yeah, you can certainly move. There's two things that I would I'm pondering right now if I'm a Colts fan. And I kind of like the move, but I'm in the back of my mind saying two things. One, all right, is this a little bit of the buddy system at work? Did we put too much on Frank Reich? Because Reich made this move. Like, he said, I can do this. Sure. This is an upgrade. I believe what Austin's saying, and he can help us win. Don't worry. We'll fix him. He's good, okay? But is that too much to trust? I mean, listen, those guys are in those roles for a certain reason.
But no, but let's be honest, though, Brent. Do we trust John DeFilippo when he brought Nick Foles here? We kind of did, and how'd that turn out for everybody? So I get what you're saying. Yeah, I'm trying to prove your point.
I think you're right, although I think there's less influence from DeFilippo. DeFilippo could say, I want this guy, or I think this guy can be good, but I still think Coughlin and Caldwell and those guys had to pass off on it, more so than I bet Ballard and Irsay and others were. Now, of course they do. They still have to sign off on it. But I think this was really Frank Reich pushing it if you connect the dots.
Okay.
The other thing I really wondered, and I say this, and I just tweeted, and I asked this question. I don't know how Jacksonville feels about it. But you get a guy, if I say, hey, you're getting a guy who has a good team in Indianapolis. We know that. I think everybody would acknowledge. You have a really good nucleus. Mm-hmm. Phillip Rivers was pretty good for them. Would they end up 11-5 last year, or was it 10-6? But they make the playoffs. And they could have been a dangerous team, I thought, in the postseason. They didn't win, but they could have been. So they were already good. Carson Wentz is a former MVP candidate. He's played some really good football. And I ask you, Jags fan, I say, hey, are you scared now of Indianapolis for the next year, 3 years, 5 years? And honestly, man, I say, nah, not really. Like, Carson Wentz doesn't scare me, right? To be honest with you, I'm more scared of Deshaun Watson staying in Houston if I'm in the AFC South, and I'm not really afraid of Houston right now.
You shouldn't be.
But I'm more afraid of even Watson and what they could build around him and quickly do that rather than, okay, the Indianapolis was already pretty good. That's a tough game. I just don't know if Carson Wentz just elevated them to be like, oh, boy, dang it, I can't believe they're going to get swept next year. I don't believe that. I don't believe it.
But here's the crazy thing, though, Brent, because you remember all the Phillip Rivers hype last year, and there was hype. I mean, who was the Super Bowl team last year?
It was them, yeah.
Because of Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
Right?
I banked on Rivers playing well.
Sure.
And by the way, it wasn't a bad banking.
No, listen.
They played pretty well.
I'm not saying that you picked the wrong horse here because, like I said, and I'm with you. I think the Colts, at the end, they just hit a Buffalo Bills team that was firing all cylinders, and it is what it is. But it's not like the Colts had a bad season by any means. But my point is, you believed in the Phillip Rivers hype.
Yeah.
And you thought that the way that team is compiled, their offensive line, their defense, the coaching, the accountability, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you bought into the Colts
I thought they were
last
ready to
year.
pop. Yeah.
Exactly. So what changed besides Phillip Rivers going to Carson Wentz now? Because, and once again, this is where we disagree, I guess. I think that Carson Wentz coming in now gives them even an extra bump as opposed to Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I'll sit here and tell you right now, when we do our predictions, we did them pretty early, I think last year.
Yeah.
I am not picking Indianapolis to the Super Bowl. I don't think he does
winning the division?
I won't say I won't do that yet, but I probably won't. I'll probably still give the nod for another run because they did it again to Tennessee. I mean, I think still they're probably the team to beat with Tannehill and Derrick Henry.
Sure.
Because what you're asking me, Phillip Rivers was a question mark because you asked, did he have anything left in the tank? So
Correct.
I gambled that the tank wasn't empty. That's what I gambled on. What you're asking me to gamble on, Carson Wentz, is can he find his form or is he Chuck Knobloch? And that's a dangerous thing in sports. You don't just flip the switch. Like if he's messed up and it's going to take him a while to come out of this, then I don't know what to expect. And so, listen, I know what to expect if Phillip Rivers had anything left in the tank. I can't sit here and tell you I know what to expect out of Carson Wentz. In fact, you turn into now, I think Indianapolis becomes the ultimate boom or bust team of 2021 because I think that's a boom or bust play. You're investing in Wentz, turning it around.
But here's the thing. Okay. But in terms of investing, though, listen, I was expecting at least a first rounder, maybe another one, like for Carson Wentz. The fact that you're going to give up a second and third rounder, perhaps?
No, listen, that's two different stories. I think the Colts made out, in terms of that. I think it was a gamble worth taking on their part. I do. But I'm just telling you, I'm not afraid of them.
I got you. Okay, but what you're saying from the boom or bust part is Carson Wentz going to essentially have the yips again this season?
Yeah.
Or
if he does, they're out of it after 1 year and they spend about $40 million. But what I said is that's an okay risk for them. You know why? Because one, the payoff could be huge if you find your quarterback.
Correct.
Two, you weren't going to get like Justin Fields or somebody like that. And three, you have the money. Like they're not going to go to salary cap hell because they just made this deal. And so that makes it an okay risk in my opinion.
See, and I get where you're coming from. And listen, there is a risk. Don't get it twisted here. I'm not saying, this is a surefire. Like, no, there's definitely a risk with Carson Wentz because we saw it last year. I mean, we saw a guy who lacked confidence. We saw a guy who was not comfortable. But I argue that, listen, if you give him those receivers that he had last year, give him the coach with Doug Peterson, give him that situation that was last year, give him all the receivers getting hurt last year. And there's not too many quarterbacks, I feel like, in the league that are going to have a lot of confidence in Philadelphia and have success.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to make an excuse for Carson Wentz. Said, well, the guys around him, the offense just wasn't working because, that's a big part of it. But at the end of the day, yes, if you're a quarterback that you're supposed to be an MVP candidate, you elevate the guys around you. No, Carson Wentz didn't do that. But I think Carson Wentz is the type of guy where if he finds himself in a great situation, he's going to flourish. And I think that Indianapolis is obviously a great situation, so I think he's going to shine again.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I think you can take both of those stances.
You can.
I guess I'm stuck on my comp to Bortles and Goff a little bit here. This has the writing on the wall of maybe we don't think he's as good as he is or we thought he was. And even though we have that impression of him, and he's a likable dude too, like kind of root for him,
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't want to get wrapped up in that anymore. I just think right now he's in this bucket of quarterbacks that he's kind of like that emoji.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And listen, this is another example, too, where I think we all had Carson Wentz staying in Philly.
I did
our
yesterday.
Quarterback predictions. Yeah,
yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yesterday I was like, I think it's smoke. I don't think it's real.
But like, how crazy is it? Like, we had Goff staying in LA, obviously, in contract, and we had Wentz and
we're very good at this game.
We're on fire right now. We cannot be stopped. But let me ask you this: if you're the Colts and you had Carson Wentz, you had Jimmy Garoppolo, you had Sam Darnold, possibly. Did they make the best decision, in your opinion, of quarterback, or would you rather have gone Garoppolo or Sam Darnold, possibly? Or maybe Jameis, I don't know.
They probably made a bet. They had the same risk as Darnold, by the way, because you don't know.
Correct.
And there's more.
You're seeing ghosts,
proof.
by the way.
There's more proof of Wentz.
Yes.
So I think it's better.
Okay.
But you also assume a lot more money in Wentz. But again, they can handle that. It's fine. I'm not convinced this was a better move than trying to trade for Garoppolo.
You're all in on Jimmy G.
I'm not all in.
Yeah.
I just think there's more to like. I think they both have health issues, too. You got to be able to stay healthy, and Wentz hasn't showed that. Neither has Garoppolo.
True.
But I think with all the quarterback stuff going on, I feel like they jumped at Wentz early in the game when there wasn't, kind of felt like Foles. There's not even that market.
Yeah.
Who else are you bidding against? Chicago has a little bit of interest. I don't know. I don't think they had to make that leap. I think they could have seen what's going to happen with Big Ben, what's going to happen with other guys right now, because their window to win is like now. It certainly is that.
Well, and it begs the question, how fast did Philly want to get Carson Wentz out of there if they only took a second and a third?
That's all right. Let's take a break. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. When we come back, they're putting all the eggs in a Jalen Hurts basket. Are they really doing that in Philly? And by the way, is Trevor Lawrence, before he even takes a snap, the best quarterback in the AFC South when it all shakes out in the new league year? We talk about it on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Urban Meyer era will begin by taking a step back. The team announced on Wednesday that they'll be going back to the teal jersey for home games. In other Jacksonville sporting news, Tim Tebow is retiring from professional baseball after 5 years in the Mets minor league organization. However, Fernando Tatis Jr. is not retiring. In fact, he's going the other way. The 22-year-old just cashed in with a 14-year, $340 million deal. Here's Sarah Spain, ESPN radio host.
This is not new anymore, but it felt new a handful of years ago. Now, Tatis certainly has proved himself. He's not a gamble as far as can he be a star. But anybody for 14 years, $340 million, anybody is a gamble. This is just the way baseball is headed, though.
This Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com. No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Hey, boss, check this out. You're never home alone and you're never away from home with Safe Touch.
What now? Never home alone. Now that one I get. It's because of the two-way communicator.
Yep. Any emergency and you're talking with the operator in seconds.
Right. Never home alone. Yeah, but what about this never away from home thing?
See, with Safe Touch's smart home automation, you can control your house from anywhere.
What, is it that smartphone thingy again?
Yeah, with the Safe Touch app, you can check your camera feeds, turn on the lights, drop the AC down, lock the doors. Boss, it's like you're there.
Never away from home. Never home alone, never away from home. This changes nothing. I still hate Safe Touch, and we still gotta stick to the Crooks or Us golden rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses. I need an aspirin.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
I'm Glenn Levine, a board-certified civil trial lawyer. That means the Florida bars recognize me as an expert in the field of civil trial. As a trial lawyer, I'm trained to investigate every aspect of your case. If you've been involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
office in Jacksonville.
I'm Marcus Roberts, a jazz pianist and a proud graduate of the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind, a state public school available at no cost to eligible K-12 Florida students who are deaf, blind, or both. FSDB prepares students for a lifetime of success, allowing them to do more, be more, and achieve more. For more information, call 800-342-3732 or visit www.fsdbk12.org.
Does it feel like finding clothes in your fit is impossible? Tired of feeling overwhelmed with options that just aren't right? Let the experts at Stitch Fix do the shopping for you. At Stitch Fix, we make sure each piece is hand-selected for your life. So whether you're staying home or on the go, Stitch Fix has the answer for what to wear. We make it easy to find what works for you. Signing up takes just a few minutes, and styles are delivered directly to your door. Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, your style delivered.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jacks on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
All right, I got two big questions about this Wentz thing when it comes to really Philadelphia. Well, one big question about Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts. Are we really putting all the eggs in the Jalen Hurts basket, Philly? Like, are you comfortable with that? And the other question, is Trevor Lawrence like the best quarterback in the division if Deshaun Watson gets traded? He hasn't even played a snap. Can I say that? Is that allowed? We'll see. Let's get South Beach Gary's on the line. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. What's up, man?
Austin, in honor of your tattoo, we'll make the song of the day Golden Slumbers by the Beatles.
He appreciates that. Thank you.
Hey, Brent, I told you Carson Wentz is going to be dealt. That's why I'm South Beach Gary, okay?
Wow, a third person South Beach Gary.
But, you guys were talking about Allen Robinson. Is he better? Would he be a better option than Schuster at wide receiver as a free agent?
Yeah, it's a good call. I thought, by the way, that's like the pollen talking in my voice. Thanks, South Beach Gary. Appreciate it. I can feel the pollen in my throat.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You got to cough some up there? You good?
No, I mean, I don't. It's just like, it's like getting raspy.
Yeah.
Maybe I like that. I just drink pollen from now on. But we've had this discussion before. I like Juju Smith-Schuster. I really do.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's more a part of things than the go-to guy. The more I looked at it. Is that fair?
No, you're
where I feel like A-Rob can be a go-to guy.
You're not wrong, Brent. Like, listen, Smith-Schuster, like, he can run the route tree. He can be on the outside, but to me, he's more of a slot guy, right? Like, you get him the ball on these short, quick, like these out routes, these slant routes, things like that. With Allen Robinson, if you want the jump ball, you go to A-Rob. You know what I'm saying? And I think as Bart, like, being more dynamic and just being more of that game wrecker per se, I lean more towards Allen Robinson.
I think even on a bad day, A-Rob's getting the ball thrown to him 10 times, catching him 7 and going for 92 yards and maybe even throw a touchdown in there.
Yeah.
I think Juju Smith-Schuster on a really good day, he's like unguardable, but on some weeks, I don't even know he exists on the field.
Sure.
Now, that could be a defense or whatever. They had a lot of weapons there, but still, that's why I felt like the inconsistencies.
But also keep this in mind, too. This past season, Robinson was doing it against the top corner. Usually the top corner would shadow Allen Robinson, obviously, because he was the Bears' receiving threat. Smith-Schuster, it was more, well, they got Claypool, right? They got Johnson. So, like, he was never really getting to the top corner. He's also in the slot as well a lot, so it doesn't help at all either. But I feel like Robinson's just more of the game record because he can run against the top corners and nobody can stop him.
Don't take this the wrong way, South Beach Gary and everybody else. If the Jags got Juju Smith-Schuster, I'd be pretty fired up.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
He's only 25, by the way.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
No, I like it. And they'd have a physical, LaVisca Chenault and a guy like Juju Smith-Schuster. You're talking about physical guys.
Sure, and then can you imagine the TikTok videos too?
That's true.
Right?
TikTok through the roof,
Brent,
branding.
I bet you if Smith-Schuster comes to Jacksonville, you're getting TikTok. You got to.
Yeah, I would, probably.
Okay, I know you would.
I would.
There it is.
Is Trevor Lawrence the best quarterback in the AFC South if Deshaun Watson gets traded?
I like it.
We'll talk about it next on ESPN 6.
Sorry, Carson.
Here in the Sunshine State, we live in 2 time zones. We cheer for 3 NFL teams. We have over 3 million men over the age of 45. and over half suffer from ED or PE. If you're having problems in the bedroom, you'll see results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. If pills like Viagra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain and no surgery. You'll see results right in the office, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Contact Prime Men's Medical Center to schedule a private consultation. Call 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
If you love golf, you need to get this deal. 8 rounds of golf for less than $12 per round plus card fees with the Dream 18 golf card at great area golf courses like Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club, Fleming Island Golf Club, and 6 others. And this isn't just a golf card. Get a free shirt from Baker Sports, a free hat at Dome Hats, and a free smoothie from Smoothie King, plus 15% off any purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. Go to ESPN690.com to purchase the Dream 18 card for $95. Hundreds of dollars in savings and the perfect gift.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
Homebuilders Institute is a national leader for career training in the building industry and provides students the skills and experience they need for successful careers. HBI training programs are taught in local communities across the country to youth, veterans, displaced workers, and other underserved populations. These programs do more than just provide job skills. They also build character and self-esteem, helping to provide students with the skills they need to succeed on the job and in life. Learn more at hbi.org.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about the all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota, where they're celebrating with savings all month long. So what are you waiting for? Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 RAV4 LE or a new 2021 Tacoma SR. You choose. 0 down or buy for just $299 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Celebrate with savings and come see the new showroom at Arlington Toyota today. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/February for full details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Ugh, nothing's worse than starting trouble. We can help you out. We can start with a free battery test. That way we'll know if your battery is causing the issue. It could be your starter or your alternator. You don't want to waste money on the wrong fix. And if you do need a new battery, we've got you covered with a wide selection of replacement batteries. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination. Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2019.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is what you need to know. Carson Wentz got his trade wish, and the Colts got a quarterback. ESPN's Adam Schefter and Chris Mortensen reporting the Eagles traded their QB to Indianapolis for a 2021 third-round pick and a conditional 2022 second-round pick that could turn into a first-rounder. Working again with his former offensive coordinator in Frank Reich, Wentz will excel, and so will the Colts, in the opinion of ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
With Frank Reich there, like you mentioned, but also an offensive line that's really healthy, that's really good. You've got pieces around him. And now the Colts go from a team that we would talk about being, okay, they're the quarterback away from they're legit Super Bowl contenders for this coming season.
Eagles likely turn to Jalen Hurts at QB, although they will bring in competition for him. The starting job not expected to automatically be his. Phillies catcher JT Realmuto, who signed a 5-year, $155 million deal this offseason, expected to miss about a month with a broken thumb. The Ivy League announced it won't have a spring season because of limitations that continue on campuses during the ongoing pandemic.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
So you're talking about a playoff team getting a young quarterback that played the MVP season underneath his head coach. So you would anticipate that maybe Carson Wentz can get back to the type of player that he was. And oh, by the way, I don't think he'll be getting sacked 50 times behind that great offensive line led by Nelson.
That's Bart Scott from ESPN. Yeah, listen, there are a lot of excuses for Carson Wentz, no doubt about it.
Yep.
And the bottom line is he still has to play better, and he has to stay healthy. I think those are the two biggest things. I don't know if people talk about his health enough, but he has to play better football and come out of whatever funk he was. And does reuniting with a former coach do that? We'll find out. Maybe it does. Maybe that's a simple answer. What else is really interesting here? Again, I think the Jags got beat up, and rightfully so, for the implosion of the organization after 2017.
Yep.
What about the Philadelphia Eagles? I mean, basically saying, hold my beer. And Houston, by the way, doing the same thing. The implosion of these franchises, and Jacksonville we thought was this outlier.
Oh, no, for sure.
We thought, they are such a mess. No wonder why they never won.
Houston was like, we'll take it from here.
Yeah.
Hey, leave it to the professionals, okay?
And by the way, Philly, they've just dismantled what they had.
Well, and listen, with Philly, obviously, it starts with Doug Peterson, right? Now, whether the owner or the GM and Doug Peterson, whatever the reason may be, it doesn't look good now, the fact that you got rid of your head coach and your starting quarterback. That's bad optics, right? But I think a lot of that had to do with more of Doug Peterson's attitude and demeanor than actually, it's either Carson Wentz or Doug Peterson. I don't buy into that narrative. I just think that Doug Peterson kind of wore out his welcome regardless if Carson Wentz was going to be the quarterback or not.
Yeah, and that surprises me. I didn't think that's the way it was. I thought it was kind of, okay, we're picking Wentz over you.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's the way it is. That's what I think.
But in hindsight, they got rid of both of them.
No, correct. Yeah.
So I misread it. I thought it was, hey, basically Peterson saying, I don't believe in Wentz anymore. Mm-hmm. It's time to move on. And the organization said, well, we're paying him $128 million. We don't really believe in you anymore. We're picking Wentz. Well, that's not the case. They got rid of both of them. It's just... It's really wild. I'm going to get to Jalen Hurts part of this and also Trevor Lawrence in a moment. But a couple odds are in now, all right? Will the Eagles draft a quarterback with the number 6 overall pick, yes or no?
Ooh, no. I'm telling you, I'm on the Jalen Hurts bandwagon, man.
Jalen Hurts total starts must start week 1 for action to take place. Mm-hmm. Over or under 12.5? You'd be over.
Over, yeah.
Carson Wentz total passing yards over under 4,000.
Ooh.
Got to go under.
Under with that running game.
Even if he played well, I don't know if he's throwing 4,000.
Under.
Carson Wentz total touchdown passes over under 23.5.
I might take the over there.
Yeah, you're a believer.
Yeah, I'm a believer.
I'm taking the under. Carson Wentz total interceptions over under 11.5.
Take the under.
I'll take the over, no doubt.
Okay.
Because he might do more touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I think I would still say he's not going to go just 180 and fix it and have this 32-7 year. Mm-hmm. 32 touchdowns, 7 picks. I don't see that happen.
Save this for a button. Just saying.
I'm not buying into that. So,
say what?
Hotkey.
No, it's button. It's gonna be a button. It's gonna be a button today.
Is Trevor Lawrence the best quarterback in the AFC South? Like right now, Carson Wentz, Ryan Tannehill, and take Deshaun Watson, whoever, if he gets traded. This is an if Deshaun Watson gets traded because Watson has proven a lot. By the way, Tannehill has proven a lot the last couple of years.
I was going to say.
And Wentz has done stuff, but...
Brent, I mean, listen, I understand that you haven't been to Carson Wentz's hometown, and I understand that you haven't met Ryan Tannehill's family or the mayor of the town that he grew up in. I understand all this stuff, but I'm going to need to see some on-the-field performances first. Like, if you're asking me right now, who's the best quarterback, excluding Deshaun Watson, obviously, I mean, based from what I've seen so far, I might go Ryan Tannehill, man. From where he finished last year, he was a top 5 quarterback last year. The numbers.
Terrific.
Yeah. And
now he loses Arthur Smith.
Well, yeah, and he loses Corey Davis, who don't want to get into Corey Davis because that cost me 0 points, Corey. 0 points in the fantasy championship game against
Still
Stewart.
stuck on that.
0 points, Brent. 0.
That's a problem.
Couldn't even get me a little 0.
So you don't want to sign him in free agency?
No, hey. For his, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, for his well-being, you better not sign Corey Davis. All right? Because for the first day of training camp will be my last day of training camp. So I'm going to have some words.
Jags signed Corey Davis, and he's a regular on the show here on ESPN.
I can't wait. Well, then I'll be getting escorted out of the building frequently. No, I think I would probably lean Ryan Tannehill just from what we've seen so far, Brent, until I see Trevor Lawrence on the field. Now, are you going to call me crazy? You on Team Trevor, right?
No, I mean, I understand this is a shade bit dramatic. But every one of those teams will take Trevor Lawrence over them right now.
Correct.
Like they would take
for what could
you would
be.
take Trevor Lawrence over Tannehill, and you would take Trevor Lawrence in Indy over Wentz without question.
Yes.
Like there's not even. But again, the resume is the resume. I mean, there's and Tannehill, by the way, has played really good football the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Which is I can't believe we're having this conversation though. Tannehill is the best in the AFC South.
Well, so that's it's an important part of the conversation as you look at what the Jags are trying to do.
Yes.
Like we spent a lot of time talking about Wentz and Philly and Indy. It's like, well, hey, Brent, you're in Jacksonville. I get it. But all this does impact, it's all about the AFC South. I mean, you need to win your division or at least play well in your division if you have any hope of having good seasons. And so I think this, what you just said, are we really having this conversation that Tannehill is the best, in the division if Watson goes away? Yeah. Well, that's significant because, the stock is pretty good right now on Tannehill, but are you a big believer that it's always going to stay that way? And Wentz stock is down. You could buy low right now.
Yes.
But there's no guarantee that's going up. There's definitely no guarantee. And Houston's just such a mess that it doesn't matter. So what it shows you is if the Jaguars are going to make some hay in the AFC South, if they're going to start to build this thing up, they seriously might have the best quarterback like right now in the division. They could. They if you look at the numbers, like this is, I know it's blasphemy to have this conversation because Trevor Lawrence hasn't played it down. But if we fast forward to January 3rd of 2022 and the season has been completed, is anybody going to be stunned if Trevor Lawrence played better than any other quarterback in the AFC South? I think the answer would be no.
No. I agree with you. I'm looking up Tannehill's numbers here, and they're interesting. And like obviously he's near the top for touchdown passes thrown, obviously. But what's surprising is who is right next to him. So we're going to play the quarterback game real quick. I'm going to give you 2 quarterbacks.
Okay.
And tell me who you want more, okay? All right, this quarterback has thrown for 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Okay.
Quarterback B, 4,265 yards, 35 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. You taking A or B? Once again, 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions for quarterback A. Quarterback B, 4,200 yards, 35 touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
It's a great call. So 6 more interceptions, 2 more touchdowns, and 700 more yards.
And the quarterback ratings are virtually identical.
Okay. I probably, in this league, knowing how big turnovers are, I'll give up the 700 yards and the 2 extra kids for the 6 picks.
Okay.
I'm going to take the 33-7 guy.
Okay.
Who did I just pick?
So you picked Ryan Tannehill over Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Cousins is a wild thing. We talked about it yesterday.
I know.
It's like he doesn't do anything to wow you, but he puts up those numbers. Yeah. Listen, go back. What was his completion percentage?
Kirk Cousins, 67.
67. Well, go back a year prior, right? And with DiFilippo, I think it was when he left to come to Jacksonville. Maybe it wasn't a year prior. Maybe it was 2 years prior. But whatever it was like 4,000 yards, 70%. Maybe it was when DeFilippo left, and then the year after he left. But so 2 seasons ago, I think Kirk Cousins was over 4,000 and 70% completion. Had an amazing year. Yet he just sits there up in the north.
Oh yeah,
and nobody. He doesn't do anything special.
So here we go. Kirk Cousins, 2018.
So it would have been 18. Okay, so that
4,298 yards. Yep. 32 touchdowns. 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
And what was his completion percentage? 70.
70. Look at you, Brent.
Yeah. So that was DeFilippo, by the way.
Yeah.
So that was DeFilippo, and then they parted ways.
By the way, 2018. This is kind of a crazy stat too. Ben Roethlisberger over 5,000 yards passing. Matt Ryan, 4,924. Almost had 5,000 yards passing himself.
Yeah, crazy.
Dang.
But to me, it's just the Cousins thing is fascinating because he doesn't win enough, and he doesn't do anything that's electrifying that makes you like, wow. Like, he just doesn't, but he puts up those kind of numbers. Like, you would sign up for that year all the time.
And see, it's another classic example where we talk about the good can be good. Right? And the bad, I guess, don't worry about it. Because, I mean, you've seen bad Kirk Cousins. You've seen primetime Kirk Cousins. It's horrible. But obviously the Vikings are concerned about that. They gave him a new contract. That's how teams operate. It's crazy.
Well, listen, wouldn't you give that guy a contract?
Kirk
if
Cousins?
I could sign up for 4,000
Well,
yards,
numbers,
68%, 30-something touchdowns, and 7 picks or 10 picks or whatever it was, wouldn't you sign up for that? I mean, how do you not bring that back? I think, listen, we can get lost in numbers sometimes. Numbers don't tell the whole story. They really don't. And people always, you can spin numbers whatever way you want. People would even stake claim to like the Bortles numbers when it was 35 and 18, say garbage yards or whatever it is. There is an eye test to this.
Yeah.
What I'm saying with Cousins is the numbers have been consistently good. The eye test isn't bad. It's just that it doesn't tell you I love this guy.
Sure.
That's what's weird about Cousins. Like, Cousins is like vanilla ice cream. It's not bad, but it doesn't get you excited.
You like vanilla ice cream? You like that?
So he's a weird. He's really a strange situation in the NFL because, like, Minnesota, I almost say they're stuck with him. You almost at that position. You want something dynamic, or you want it to not work. And he's not either.
Yeah, because it's like you look at the free agent market, maybe Stafford would be an up, maybe. But, like, that's the thing. Like, you're not going to bring Wentz over Cousins.
No way.
And you wouldn't bring Garoppolo over Cousins. You wouldn't bring Sam Darnold over Cousins.
No.
So you get what you get.
Yeah. Well, there was a little talk, right? I think it was San Francisco. They could flop. I think they could switch.
Yeah.
I think there was some talk about San Francisco going Cousins for Garoppolo. And, listen, I mean, Shanahan might, because he already had him in Washington.
Correct.
Maybe that would work. Look, I do think Cousins is better than Garoppolo.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt. I think he's proven he's better than Garoppolo.
Let's be honest. The good has been a lot more good. If that's even a sentence.
I don't even know if it's fair to Kirk Cousins. It might not be it just doesn't feel like he wins anything, so he's almost irrelevant throwing for 4,000, 30-something touchdowns and 10 picks.
Yeah.
Like, there's this level of irrelevancy about Minnesota and about Cousins, and most of that has to do with winning. And I don't even know if it has to do with him winning. It might be more coaching. It might be more bad defense. Their offensive line, by the way, has been atrocious for the most part up there in Minnesota, and Cousins still putting up those numbers. I mean, maybe he doesn't get enough credit at the end of the day.
So with that being said, though, and we kind of teased it a little bit, we haven't got to it yet. So Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, this is the part I don't fully understand. You're on board.
I'm so on board.
Gosh, this is a weird thing. You're on board.
Spoiler alert, too. This was, I mean, I might as well just drop the news now. This was going to be my breakout quarterback of 2021.
Good. Kuz, pick him first, okay, just to upset Austin.
I dare you. I dare you, Kuz. Maybe we get like a free case of Bud Light if you do or something. I like Gardner Minshew.
So my question is, and I almost tweeted this earlier in the day, but then I saved it for a tweet right now. Are the Eagles seriously putting all their eggs in a Jalen Hurts basket that we saw, 4 games from?
Hey, here's the Eagles right now, Brent. They're checking their cards. They look up, look back down, all in. All in. Chips are all in.
Why is this a good idea?
Okay, I'll say it like this. And if you want to look at the numbers, let's be honest. The numbers don't do anything for you. The guy went 1-3, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 52% completion percentage, quarterback rating 77 the QBR is 41 and the quarterback rating is 77. We'll take that for how you want. But overall, like, The passing stats, they don't do much for you. Now, the rushing stats are a little different, obviously. He's a dual-threat guy, a la Kyler Murray, because we know how those breakdowns went down, Brent, when we were doing the whole, the grades. Mm-hmm. But overall, I think with Jalen Hurts, I was surprised, because I watched a little bit of Jalen Hurts. I was surprised how well he did from the get-go. Because when he was on that field, and keep in mind, he's replacing Carson Wentz, who obviously had the yips. Like, it was bad. I mean, he mentally just wasn't there. And, like, it was to the point where every single play you felt like it was going to be a quarterback sack, an interception, or some kind of turnover. When Hurts came in, and I forgot who the game was against his first start, but, like, he wasn't flustered. The moment wasn't too big for him. And I thought he showed great leadership skills. So, like, that to me is why I'm buying into Jalen Hurts. Because of all things, like, listen, I think Jalen Hurts could be a talented quarterback. I think he has the physical traits and the tools to be successful in this league because of the way the league works now with his, the dual threatness, if you will. But, like, what I wasn't anticipating was how calm, poised, and collected Jalen Hurts was going to be. I figured a guy, taken outside the first round out of Oklahoma, I figured there'd be a little adjustment period. Like most quarterbacks, there seemed to be a little adjustment period. I didn't get the sense with that with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I just wonder. Listen, I think he is a calm, cool guy. I think he's got a lot of intangibles that are nice. I don't even think he's not going to be a good quarterback. I just don't know how, if you're Philadelphia, you can sit here and be like, okay, here's our guy. We're riding with him. I know they didn't want to deal with the two quarterback thing. That's apparent, right? They just didn't want to. Maybe they thought Wentz would pitch a fit, in the locker room behind closed doors, like if he wasn't the guy. Here's what I'll say. If I'm the Eagles picking 6, I'm drafting a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm drafting a quarterback. I'm not relying and setting my organization back to say Hurts is the guy. Hurts can be at least adequate, I think. I think is his floor. I don't know if he can be great. And if he's adequate, you win some games, but you might be picking 13. You're picking 6th, I think, right now, are the Philadelphia Eagles. There's plenty of quarterbacks. If Justin Fields is there, get him. Now, maybe you don't like a Trask or a Mac Jones in that role, and maybe that doesn't fit. But if one of those top 3 quarterbacks, well, Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be there, but if Zach Wilson or Justin Fields are still left at 6, I'm pulling the trigger on one of those guys. The problem is they might not be there. Atlanta picks 4, Jets pick 2, somebody trades up in front. The Eagles might not have that option.
What about Trey Lance?
Oh, I forgot about Trey Lance.
Of course you did.
That'd be interesting because of the North Dakota tie, right, with Wentz.
Yeah. But see,
I don't know. Honestly, man, I don't have a strong enough feeling about Lance to say, Philadelphia, you should go get this guy.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of he's more of a curiosity to me than a lot of these other guys.
And you're not wrong. Like, I think, I use this term lightly here, but like in terms of project per se, like in terms of you need some time to grow, to work your skills, Trey Lance is that guy.
Yes.
Okay. And to me, it wouldn't make any sense to bring in that guy who is another dual threat guy if you have Jalen Hurts ready to roll.
Yes.
I'm not calling him the same player, but I'm just calling him, there's going to be a little grace period, I feel like. And if you already got the guy in Jalen Hurts, then take the guy in Jalen Hurts. So I think Trey Lance is out of the mix. But yeah, I guess we'll see, man. I'm buying into to Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and I think in your scenario, actually, Trey Lance makes a lot of sense in Philly because you have somebody where you can sit this guy, you can let him grow. And by the way, Hurts is going to be a great teammate. He's not going to be a problem. I do have this doesn't always translate. Just a friendly reminder. Hurts went to Oklahoma essentially because Tua bumped him out of there. Mm-hmm. And Tua we're still uncertain about in Miami. Again, different. It's a different level. I get it. But he got beat out by Tua, and they were going to go with Tua. And so Hurts now still has a phenomenal year at Oklahoma. So it's not like he played poorly. But we're not even sold on Tua as an NFL guy. What makes us think we're sold on Hurts as an NFL guy? I would draft. I like your scenario. I would probably draft Trey Lance. I hope that Hurts is good. And if not, I have this. At least I have trade bait. It's such an important position. You go draft the position when you can draft the position.
The thing,
now, again, the only caveat here is how does your scouting staff look at Lance? I don't know. My internal scouting staff is torn on him.
But no, I hear you.
So maybe I go get Jamar Chase and I give Jalen Hurts a weapon instead.
Well, and this is what I was going to say to you. I mean, if you're so hell-bent on saying, all right, you got to take care of the quarterback. The quarterback's the most important position. I agree with you here. But then why would you address another quarterback in the draft? Why wouldn't you take care of the quarterback that you have? Get him an offensive lineman or get him a wide receiver. Get him another weapon, and then let's see what he can do.
Yeah, their belief, I think their pick at that time will show one of two things. How much belief they have in Hurts, or secondly, how they feel about the rest of the QBs that are on the table, right? So, but I remind you, the MVP of the league this year was Aaron Rodgers, and the Green Bay Packers picked a quarterback in the first round.
Correct.
So, I mean, it is that important of a position to ensure yourself in this league. If you like a player, if they like Trey Lance, they should pick Trey Lance. Without question. They should run it up there. If they like Mac Jones or Kyle Trask, they should do that. If Justin Fields falls to them and they like him, they should do that.
But
it's as simple as that for me.
I hear you, man, but you can't compare it to Aaron Rodgers because, let's be honest, like we saw it before. It was like Groundhog's Day with Brett Favre. Like Brett Favre was on the back nine of his career. They bring in Aaron Rodgers. Now, Brett Favre lasted a lot longer than people expected, and he comes back after retirement, yada, yada, yada. But the reason why Aaron Rodgers was brought in was because, well, how much longer can Brett really do this? We need to have a plan. Jordan Love is kind of the same precedent where it's like, all right, well, Aaron, he's still a good quarterback, but how many years does he really have left? Okay, let's get in Jordan Love. You have a rookie. Well, you have a second-year guy now in Jalen Hurts. Like, age isn't the problem. Like experience is because he hasn't played a lot. So, like, to me, you can't compare it to Aaron Rodgers just because it's different in terms of like the timing of everything.
That's fine, but I would compare it in this way. I would say this then. You have a guy that's run for over 100 yards a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's part of his game.
Yeah.
You just had a guy that couldn't make it through a season in Carson Wentz. I might need two guys. I mean, how can you bank that that over-under on Jalen Hurts 12.5? It's a fair question. Not only because he might not be the guy, but because staying healthy might be an issue too.
But you got to trust in your team, though, Brent. Like, I mean, should the Ravens draft another quarterback?
I think the Ravens should have someone they feel comfortable with behind Lamar Jackson. Absolutely. And I think Kyler Murray in Arizona the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that is that much part of your game, I think they should definitely plan for a stretch of games where you're not going to have your guy. And so you want to be as solid as you can. Now, I don't go crazy and spend $14 million on it, but
sure.
I mean, I think that's a little bit what Philly did, and it won them a Super Bowl. They did that with Foles.
Cam Newton to Baltimore?
Do you worry, though, that it might mess with the mental side of whoever you do start with the starter there?
Well, you know me. I think it's a
tough
fair
in this
question,
business,
but I'm tired of babying the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I got to win. And the other thing about Philly is they're nowhere close to winning.
True.
Like,
but they're also in a division that is not close to winning.
It's pretty wide open, but now it doesn't feel like they're close to winning. It feels like this will now be a rebuilding process of sorts. We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Tim Tebow retires. Was this baseball try a good thing? Bad thing? Who else should try another sport? And should you want to be a baseball player as a kid? When I grow up, I want to be blank on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Breezy and warm today as skies become partly cloudy with a widely scattered afternoon shower thunderstorm, highs in the low to mid-80s. Showers and a few storms tonight into tomorrow morning with some heavy downpours at times, dropping to around 60 degrees tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 at Fox 30 Action News Jax for the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, zero-interest financing with nothing down.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talent Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Cease and desist.
You gotta love lawyer talk, don't you? I got a letter from the competitor's lawyer accusing us of stealing all their best people. They demanded that we cease and desist. The ugly truth is that the other company was actively driving away their best people. Management didn't treat them right, so they voted with their feet. And most of those plumbers and techs initially hired on somewhere else other than Griffin Service. Except those somewhere else companies weren't any better in terms of how they mistreated their people. So a few of those guys came to work for me at Griffin Service, where I absolutely gave them the respect and appreciation they deserved. Then word got around.
If you want the best job you'll ever have, come work for Tom at Griffin Service.
That's good news for amazing AC techs and plumbers, and bad news for my competitors and their lawyers. Because I'm not going to stop revolutionizing the AC and plumbing industries here in Jacksonville, and I'll never cease and desist from treating my people and my customers the way they deserve.
GriffinService.com.
License number 1250697.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks R Us training helpline. Today we're explaining the term verified alarm to all you newbies out there.
Oh, boss, I can explain that. A verified alarm just means that whatever caused the security system alarm to go off has been verified.
Correct. And what alarm company is known for providing the fastest verified alarms?
Safe Touch Security.
Exactly, because Safe Touch has the two-way communicator, which leads to alarm verification within seconds.
And alarm verification is very bad for us crooks.
Yeah, unlike a non-verified alarm that police label a low priority.
Like right below getting Grandma's cat out of a tree low.
So, to sum up, verified alarms. Just one more reason we crooks have the golden rule: stay away from Safe Touch houses. Remember that, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, kitty, kitty.
Only one security system is truly the best. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
All across the nation, we are here for our communities.
We're doing our part to get supplies where it's needed in order to fight COVID-19 together.
It feels good to be out there to assist our community.
I would like our friends and family to know that your National Guardsmen are always ready and always there.
Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now: Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week. No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
The Jets are now not going to get that first pick, and so they become now the franchise that has nothing, which is what happens when the people at the top are incompetent and clueless. It is exclusively about what is better for the franchise, and there is nothing better about being 1-15 without Trevor Lawrence than being 0-16 with him.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg, weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio. And now, watch exclusively on ESPN Plus.
Brent Martineau.
How many push-ups did you do in 3 minutes? Did you try the challenge?
Austin Lane.
I don't need lactic acid build up when I'm in fight camp. Brent, you kidding me? Take my word for it. I've been more than you.
Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
I got a lot of work to do. I need to, be able to get to work and hopefully be able to have a good spring training and get better and improve and, just continue to try to earn a shot.
That is Tim Tebow. Kuz, what did you do? Say that was about a month ago?
Yeah, talking with TMZ Sports.
He didn't run away from TMZ Sports. See that?
So the higher Wonderlic score. So advantage me.
Is he gonna come work for the Jags now?
Goose.
Hey.
Did you see Albert Breer? You see what he did? For the clout chasing, if you will, he put Tim Tebow in a Jaguars jersey, throwing a football.
I saw somebody else on social media today, and I said, hey, I saw Tebow running routes yesterday. I think he's coming back as a tight end.
H-back? Yeah, I doubt it.
That would be awesome. I couldn't wait till the city explodes with that.
Really?
Both the good and bad.
I mean, do you really want to see that? I'm being honest here.
Yeah, because I think the Tebow stuff was always so overdone by the fans. Like, I understand there's a lot. It was talked up a lot, I get, but it became the Tebow stuff to me. Tebow's a guy who should be celebrated. He's a very good athlete. All his accolades. I mean, I said it last week. Of all the things Tebow does, and he does a lot of great things, the night to shine stuff off the field, the guy's tremendous, right? And so, but it became so polarizing in Jacksonville around, I want to say like 2013, 2012. You were living it.
I was there, yeah.
So so it would have been 2012.
Yeah.
It was Malarkey's year.
Correct. I had to watch the people that were like picketing outside at 316 every single day saying bring in Tebow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I left the stadium seeing those people.
And by the way, it was some of those folks too. It's almost like today's world, right? It was overdone on their side. But if in sports radio or in TV or on social media, it's like you couldn't even talk about Tebow anymore. Like you couldn't talk about him. It was like,
but
anything you said about Tebow was either one side or the other.
Yeah.
And finally, that's dissipated. Now you can at least mention Tim Tebow around here again, which is good. And you should be able to.
But I'm saying from like the locker room's perspective of 2012, I know a lot of guys in the locker room didn't want him. Not because of the guy he is, because how could you despise the dude that he is? I mean, the guy's all time. I mean, he's the salt of the earth. But the distraction that we knew was going to come with it if he was to come to Jacksonville. Yeah. And we didn't want to deal with that.
And that's fair. Listen, I think that's fair enough. And whether it turned out, right, he didn't make it in the NFL, and he certainly, as it played out.
What do you mean didn't make it?
Well, I mean, long term.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I had a longer career.
So the criticism of Tebow.
I played more games.
The criticism of Tebow.
Started more games.
If you had played less, I would have said you didn't make it either all the way.
More sacks than Tim Tebow?
To 10 years.
I had more sacks than Tim Tebow did. Go on, though.
But I think the people at the end of the day that got on the horse of saying he's a bad quarterback, he's not good enough to play in the NFL, at the end of the day, they end up winning the argument, right? Because he's out of the NFL. Then he goes to Major League Baseball. And you're right, he still had some really good moments. I mean, obviously, the Denver, the Pittsburgh, that was a magical season. I mean, the NFL probably still thanks Tim Tebow for that season. Yeah. It was incredible what was going on there in Denver. Yeah. Denver still probably thanks Tim Tebow for that and everybody else. So then he goes into baseball. And I think people have been critical of that too, right? Are you taking up a younger guy's spot? I mean, can you really do this? Is this kind of like a marketing thing? What is it? Well, it turns out it wasn't. I mean, there are stories, and we know enough baseball people around here. I mean, Tebow used to go hit with Daniel Murphy in the offseason over at Providence. Yeah. There are stories. I mean, his hands just would bleed. He'd hit so much. Like he's committed. But he had to, once he's all in.
He had to catch up, though.
He's all in. He had to catch up. He hadn't done it in like 11 years.
Yeah.
So he hits like 223, 287 games. It doesn't work out. It doesn't make it to the big leagues. But because he didn't make it to the big leagues, does that make the experiment bad?
No.
Does that make the experiment a failure? No. I actually have always said this, said it last night on TV too. I have maybe my most admiration for Tim Tebow as an athlete for what he did with baseball. And the reason I say that is because he did not have to put himself out there to fail. If you were a betting person, he was not going to make it to the bigs. Or even if he made it for a week, he wasn't going to be successful in the bigs. It was that hard to do, right? I mean, and so for him to actually go out there, commit to it, take bus rides in the minor leagues, get, all that stuff to go chase that in reality, which I think at the end of the day turned out to be a very genuine chase of that dream.
Yeah.
I have a lot of admiration for him to put himself out there, a guy that did not need to put himself out there and be held up to the criticism. And for that reason, I actually look at it in a very positive experience, what he did in baseball, even though it wasn't an overwhelming success.
No, I mean, it wasn't overwhelming because, let's be honest, he didn't accomplish the goal, right? Like, I think the goal was to play Major League Baseball. But at the end of the day, man, like I talk about all the time, it's not the destination. Sometimes it's the journey. And I think, like, for a guy like that to put it all on the line, to put the work in, and I get the sense that a lot of people thought, like, he was handed all that stuff because it's Tim Tebow, and maybe there's some truth to that.
Well,
but
I think
it doesn't take away. Yeah, but that doesn't take away from the amount of hours that he put and the amount of energy and
serious
passion
nature
that he put.
There were different parameters for him.
Yeah,
no doubt. Sandy Alderson, the Mets GM, who brought it on, he admitted that. He acknowledged that. He said, "Listen, this is not bad for business." You know? Well, I mean, that's part of it. That's fine. It's business, and that they acknowledge that also came with criticism. But again, I think what you just said is important. Put the work in. He wrote it. It's not like he was taking limos and planes while the rest of the team was taking bus rides in middle of nowhere, New York.
And it's so hard to be like everybody else when you're on that pedestal, right? Because we all put him there. I mean, like, it was Tebow in spring training. You know, like, everyone was talking about him. So, no, I don't think it was a failure by any means. I think he should be proud of what he did. You know, I mean, obviously, I played ABA, and I stuffed the stat sheet now, Tim. You know, I mean, they called me Mr. Thanksgiving. I'm not sure what they called you, Tim.
Hey, Tim, so did I.
Tim, I'm not... Brent... But it's not about you, though, right? We're talking about Tim Tebow right now.
I just wanted to put that in perspective.
We're talking about Tim Tebow right now. We're talking about Tim Tebow.
The Shrimp have not given me a minor league at bat yet.
Listen, hey, Iceman, give me a call. But no, Brent, it's not about you. It's about Tim Tebow, who started 16 games. I started 17 games in my career, so I got one more start than Tim Tebow. It's not about me.
Start 16 in his NFL career?
According to Pro Football Reference, and that's pretty much the word. So, yeah, I had a +1. And good, because I don't want him to come back and play for the Jaguars. We'll have to come back out of retirement then, because I want to have that on him.
I just want to let you know that
former first-round pick, former fifth-round pick. Who's the crapshoot pick?
Kuz, no.
Huh?
Kuz said this quietly.
Call me a crapshoot pick again.
By the way, Kuz said this quietly, but he said, "How many playoff games did Austin play in?"
Hey, Kuz. Can't stress this enough. It's a team game. All right?
That's fair.
It's a team game, sir. All right? Team game, Kuz.
Hey,
that's all I got to say. I don't want to blame anybody. I don't want to point any teammates out. I probably could have did a little more, but no, it's a team game.
Should I put on social media?
I can't believe Kuz said that.
I'm not going to do this.
No, do it. No, don't take. Come on, man.
No, I'm not tagging Tebow.
Okay.
I was just going to say more successful NFL career.
I'm scared.
I'm not sure. I'm not even going one way or another.
I mean, do I get the numbers real quick? Do you want the numbers? Tebow had 17 touchdowns. He had 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Quarterback rating 70. Well, they had a quarterback rating back then. So wait, yeah, they did. Okay, check this out. QBR. His time in Denver 56.38, and then in New York was 25.4. My defensive end rating. So good.
And by the way, let it be known.
Some might say the best in the run game.
That Austin Lane outshined Tim Tebow.
Hey. At the Senior Bowl in Mobile?
At the Senior Bowl.
Listen, they were actually calling it the Tim T Bowl. Like, it was the Tim T Bowl. And then all of a sudden, you know what I had to do for Murray State? You know how I put Murray State on the map a little bit. I'm like, it's football. Let me go and take that one for a touchdown.
It's like that Penn State graphic that came out. The graphic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome.
That's really good.
So,
hey,
I mean, do you want my stats or not? You good?
Yeah, what's your
No, it's
defensive
fine.
efficiency?
I don't want to talk. It's good. It's so good. So efficient.
Well, here's the thing. Tebow was picked in the first round. You were in the 5th round. So
yeah,
you got more value out of your pick.
So do we dare say I'm more valuable than Tim Tebow? Brent, is that put it? That's a button. Say it, Brent.
By the way,
all right.
The comparisons of you and Tebow.
What do you mean?
Your careers are aligned in a lot of different ways. 2010 draft class.
Okay.
Senior Bowl.
Sure. I mean, a lot of guys played in the Senior Bowl and were drafted.
17 starts versus 16 starts in the NFL.
Yeah.
Both now in the media.
Yeah.
Both have worked for ESPN.
Sure.
And both pursuing other professional sporting careers. And see, this is why you have to be very careful with this Tebow question. I know you said it genuinely. You admire his effort to get to baseball.
I was lying.
But
let's just help the brand out. But go ahead.
This isn't that much different than yours.
No.
In the MMA world, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that in terms of the pursuing that.
It's a good point.
Part of sports.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm Tim Tebow. Right?
Well, and I did not say that. I said
Tim
the
Tebow,
careers are parallel.
No, I'm Tim Tebow too. We're all over Tim Tebow.
too.
I'm Tim Tebow
too.
No, man. No, listen, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
but I was interested to get your take on the baseball side of it.
Yeah.
Because seriously,
Yeah.
and that does bring up, like, do other guys want to pursue other sports? Like, are there players that say, hey, I'm willing to cut, whether they get willing or whether it happens, right? Their career cut short.
Yeah.
Can you go into something? We're just talking about the famous ones, right? The Bo Jacksons of the world, the Deion Sanders of the world. But what I always say is, like, you guys that play football or somebody who plays basketball, they're the 1% athlete. Like, you're good at other things. You were a good hockey player. You're a good basketball player. I'm not saying you could go try out for the NBA and play.
I'd be surprised.
But maybe you could, though, right? Maybe there are other.
If TJ McConnell can do it.
Are there other people that you played with that you said, man, you should have played like this?
Oh, good call.
Well, that was, by the way, LeBron, like 2 days ago, came out and said, like, I'm pretty sure I could have played in the NFL if I directed everything towards
It's
that.
been a long. That's been a long. Now an old conversation, I guess is the best way to say it, right? I mean, for years and years, people have said because of the body of LeBron James, could he play tight end, and how good would he have been? And listen, what I envy about professional athletes is when they lock into something, they're going to make themselves the best they can be at that. And so LeBron may be, if he had wanted to go to the NFL and play tight end, he would have had a chance to be as good as he possibly could be because he would have made himself. Now, it's hard to imagine he would have been a better tight end than a basketball player.
No, it's so hard to imagine that,
right?
man. It's so
I
hard
mean,
to
I think
imagine
he answered his calling.
Yeah.
Because I always wonder that about kids, right? Like Ty and Kaylee are playing baseball and softball.
Yeah.
But would they have been better in something else?
Yeah.
But they went toward baseball and softball. Should Ty have played golf?
Yeah.
And he'd be like a scratch golfer right now, and he's going to be a pretty good baseball player, but he's not going to make the big leagues.
Here's what we got to do between me and Tebow. Because
I wonder.
I mean, Tebow's obviously a fantastic athlete. We'll give him that all day.
No doubt.
I give him the advantage in baseball. I assume he's a better golfer than I am because I don't golf. So
he can
baseball,
hit a golf ball, yeah.
I think we're a wash in football. Honestly, I mean, maybe not because collegiate, he's got me beat. So he's got football. I have basketball. I have hockey. And I have action sports. Okay?
Yeah,
so,
including action sports shacks.
And action sports
He's
shacks.
never worked for us.
So we're 3-3 right now. Brett, what is the deciding sport to find out who's the better athlete between me and Tebow?
Well, here it is. Who would win in a cage?
Thanks, everybody. The prosecution rests.
Hey, you want to sell?
Hey, Coos, let's go.
By the way, you want to sell some tickets at Daly's place? Austin Lane and Tebow in a match.
Sounds like an AEW match.
Dude, do I call him out? Should I cut a promo on Tebow? You want me to cut a...
Dude, now that your baseball career's over.
Yeah, when we get back, I cut a promo on Tim Tebow. You think that 22 Wonderlic score is going to save you?
We'll be back. Baseball, hockey, basketball, football.
Action sports.
What should you tell your kid to get into for the money?
How do you call yourself action sports? You don't actually cover action sports, though. What's up with that? Yeah.
We do. We covered the
Extreme.
MMA event.
That's a good point.
We'll be back on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN.
I covered it.
You kind of covered it.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Urban Meyer era will begin by taking a step back. The team announced on Wednesday that they'll be going back to the teal jersey for home games. In other Jacksonville sporting news, Tim Tebow is retiring from professional baseball after 5 years in the Mets minor league organization. However, Fernando Tatis Jr. is not retiring. In fact, he's going the other way. The 22-year-old just cashed in with a 14-year, $340 million deal. Here's Sarah Spain, ESPN radio host.
Not new anymore, but it felt new a handful of years ago. Now, Tatis certainly has proved himself. He's not a gamble as far as can he be a star. But anybody for 14 years, $340 million, anybody is a gamble. This is just the way baseball is headed, though.
This Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hey, boss, how's it going?
How's it going? Oh, let me tell you how it's going. So far this year, I've broken my pinky toe, had a flat tire, and currently I'm trying to pass a kidney stone the size of Rhode Island.
Well, karma strikes again.
What?
Nothing. Oh, look, it's the first Crooks Are Us survey of 2021. They're asking crooks like us to list the top reasons we avoid safe touch houses.
Well, there's the crash and smash technology, the video monitoring.
Yeah, but what's number one?
Gotta be the two-way communicator.
That's what I said.
Oh yeah, the two-way communicator leads to verified alarms, which lead to faster response times, which are all very bad for us crooks.
Which all just circles back to the crooks are us golden rule.
Stay away from safe touch houses. Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
I'm John Morgan. All law firms are not the same. As America's largest personal injury firm, we have more trials, more lawyers, more office buildings, and more caring staff members than any other injury law firm in the world. There's really nothing else like it. Our reputation and results speak for themselves. With more than 2 million people just like you calling us every single year, your trust in us means the world to me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Dial pound law on your cell.
Offices, Jacksonville.
Do you know that there are 7 steps that can help to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild, even though they may have trouble controlling their anger or lack of focus or respect for others? Karate America takes pride in the tens of thousands of children they've impacted. Imagine your child or grandchild showing and earning respect, setting and achieving goals, and making good grades. Visit karateamerica.info to see if Karate America's leadership program is a good fit for your child.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about the all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota, where they're celebrating with savings all month long. What are you waiting for? Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 Corolla LE or a new 2021 Camry LE. You choose. 0 down or buy for just $249 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Celebrate with savings and come see the new showroom at Arlington Toyota today. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/February for full details.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
I'm Marcus Roberts, and I've been blind since I was 5 years old. I'm a jazz pianist and composer, and I've been fortunate to perform all over the world for more than 30 years. I am also a proud graduate of the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. While there, I had great teachers who specialized in working with blind and visually impaired students. FSDB provided me with many of the essential skills I needed to succeed. The school is a state public school available at no cost to eligible K-12 Florida students who are deaf, blind, or both. FSDB helps students to do more, be more, and achieve more. It prepares them for a lifetime of success. For more information, call 800-342-10 3732 or visit www.fsdbk12.org.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
They look at Fernando Tatis Jr. like the lottery ticket that they picked up off the ground. They got him when he was 17 years old in a trade where they were dumping James Shields' money, and he has turned into really the face of baseball in 2021, I think, and beyond. And to know that in a market like San Diego, which in the past has lost players, everyone aside from Tony Gwynn, that they could make him this generation's Tony Gwynn, they leapt at the opportunity to do that.
Fernando Tatis, the most exciting player in the game. Can really change the sport, make it cool again kind of guy. Listen, the Major League Baseball is littered with young talent. But the personality that
Swag.
Mike Trout lacks.
Oh, yeah, the swag, too. I mean, with all the
Fernando
Mike
Tatis
Trout.
has.
Yeah, he's got that style.
And the
dude.
story, and I find him as a 43-year-old guy, right, who's a traditionalist in baseball, who says when they start bat flipping and all that stuff, like, I don't know so much about that. And I've kind of grown to, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But the style of Fernando Tatis, I think is cool. I think it's great for the game. And I just got to believe if I'm 12, 15, 7, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to love him for even the baseball. The next question you ask is, so what did he hit? You know, the first question you ask about Mike Trout, like, how many home runs did he hit? What did he hit?
Yeah.
Like, how great was he this year? Did he win another MVP? You don't do that with Tatis.
Yeah.
You're like, how far did he hit it?
Yeah.
How far did he flip the bat? How electric was the play he made at shortstop? Like, that's a cool thing with Tatis. He's a game changer for Major League Baseball. The Padres know it. I hope Major League Baseball knows it because they should market the heck out of him.
Well, listen, any guy that can rock dreads, or he used to rock dreads. I don't think he's clean shaven now, but he used to rock dreads. I support you, man. So, listen, like, with Mike Trout, to me, Mike Trout is, and I think he's a household name for the most part. Now, there's the West Coast bias, all that stuff. But, like, to me, Mike Trout is Mike Trout because of his personality as well. Like, he's just he's the all-American dude. Right? Like, he's not going to wow you with the personality or, like, wow you with the commercial. Maybe don't even put him on the cover of MLB The Show, right? But, like, how he goes about his business is admirable. And, like, on the other side of it, then you have Tatis Jr., who's, like, this, he's like a swagger hound dude. Like, he's oozing swag. Like, he's the future, let's just say. I'm not saying one way is better than the other way. I'm just saying it's both sides of the spectrum, and it's cool that they're both represented and both accepted in today's baseball.
When I was a kid, there was this guy, Bill Harley, and he would come to our school when I was, like, in 3rd grade, Aiken School, Seekonk, Massachusetts, before I moved over to Rhode Island.
All right.
And his name was Bill Harley, and he had this CD. He did these songs for kids.
Yeah,
and
I had a couple of those guys come to our school.
Monsters in the Bathroom was an epic song. Okay. There's a song called Black Socks. There's also this song called When I Grow Up. And so as you listen to this, I'm going to play it right off my phone here for Bill Harley.
It's on iTunes?
You can find it on iTunes.
Right
Ronan
on.
might like it. Okay.
Right on. Cool.
Now, do you want to grow up to be a big league baseball player, hockey player, NFL player with the money they make? Jeff Passan says all good athletes should be a baseball player. Do you agree? If you can hear it, good.
When I grow up to be 23, a storyteller's what I'm gonna be. I'll tell stories every day. As a good storyteller, you'll hear them say, when I grow up to be 23, I'm still gonna be me. Yeah, I'm still gonna be me.
All right.
Is that you in the background?
I was in the background singing, probably.
So,
by the way, when he gets to 83,
when
he gets to 83, all the way to 103, but he gets to 83 as a hockey player. So he's an 83-year-old hocky player because he asks the kids what he wants to be, right?
Of course. That's awesome.
So, but the guy is awesome.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Monsters in the Bathroom, by the way.
I'm in.
Boy, that's a Bill Harley reference I haven't had in a long time.
I'm all in.
But so what would you be? Like, you played football.
Yeah.
The NFL money isn't guaranteed.
Yeah.
Maurice Jones-Drew used to always tell me, I said, hey, Ty's playing baseball. He's like, good,
Yeah.
don't let him play football. Let him go make a ton of money in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, NFL guys envy the NBA
they
and
do.
Major League Baseball because it's guaranteed, right?
Yeah. Well, so you're asking what I want to be as a kid?
Well,
So,
what? Seriously, if you're a big athlete and money was
how about
into
if
it.
I was going to direct my son to something.
Yeah, and money was a factor here.
I mean, it's hard.
Is it baseball or is it basketball?
I would probably say basketball, even more than baseball. I'd probably say basketball.
But shouldn't that help Major League Baseball to kids? Shouldn't the dollars,
It
the
does.
economics, or are they too young to understand, even if they're great athletes?
I think they're too young to understand that, but I think having guys like Tatis Jr. will help. Just like it helped with Ken Griffey Jr. back in the day with me. I mean, I played baseball because of Ken Griffey Jr. I wanted to be like Ken Griffey Jr.
But not because of what he got paid, how he played.
No, exactly. But just the style that he had. But no, my son our son told us this a couple days ago. He wants to be an NFL player for the Jaguars and a doctor because my wife's. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
So, yeah. Have fun getting that scholarship for med school. So I'm not paying another scholarship I'm not paying any more med school. I'm done.
Just score touchdowns.
I'm out. Just
we'll
score
be
touchdowns.
back on ESPN 690.
Beard's Diamonds' most exciting offer is back for a limited time.
0% financing for 5 years. Plus, get 0 down.
It's the sale smart jewelry shoppers wait for.
You get Beard's already low prices.
But then you get to spread your payments out for 60 months with no money down.
But hurry, this incredible finance opportunity won't last long.
How about a $6,000 Decory or Veragio ring?
You pay just $100 a month.
Or a pair of $3,000 stud earrings.
You pay just $50 a month.
And every purchase at Beard's Diamonds is backed by our free lifetime warranty.
Now's the time to get her that designer setting she's been dreaming about and spread your payments out for 5 years.
Find your total price by 60, and that's all you'll pay per month.
Don't miss out on the best deal of the year. 0% financing for 5 years. Plus, get 0 down on everything in the store.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed at Beard's Diamonds.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
An essential part of starting and running a business is managing cash flow. This involves not just generating sales revenue, but also securing financing, handling expenses, and ensuring there is working capital in order to reinvest. At SCORE, we offer advice and can direct you to resources to help address these issues. Since 1964, SCORE has helped more than 11 million entrepreneurs and small business owners. We provide free one-on-one mentoring, a library of online information, and a series of timely webinars. Go to jacksonville.score.org to see how we can assist you today.
Don't miss the gun show this weekend at the Ice and Sportsplex, featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more with concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ice and Sportsplex on Phillips Highway just off Emerson, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the gun show.
The Players Championship is a proud supporter of Angelwood and its mission to serve children, adults, seniors, and families living with intellectual and developmental differences in Jacksonville. It's 19 days until the Players.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
O'Reilly. Need new wiper blades? Not sure which ones to buy? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. We'll show you options for your specific car and even install them for free. Right now, save $10 per pair on Bosch Focus wiper blades, plus earn double O-Rewards points. There's no better time to replace your wiper blades. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in. Mets guard Kyrie Irving available tonight against the Lakers. He missed the last game with a back issue. Another quarterback domino has fallen this NFL offseason. The Eagles agreed to trade Carson Wentz to the Colts for a 2021 third-round pick and conditional 2022 second-round pick that could turn into a first-rounder. This according to ESPN's Adam Schefter and Chris Mortensen. Wentz reunited with his former offensive coordinator Frank Reich. Indy is the perfect landing spot for Wentz, believes Monday Night Football's Louis Riddick.
Frank Reich understands what makes Carson tick, how he fell off, the kind of things he's going to need to do for him on a personal basis in order to get him to play at a high level, keep his confidence up. He does have a much better offensive philosophy and or system with which Carson will now be able to, operate under.
The Eagles likely turn to Jalen Hurts at QB, but do intend to bring in competition for him. Baseball, Phillies catcher JT Realmuto, who signed a 5-year, $115 million contract this offseason, is expected to miss about a month with a broken thumb on his throwing hand.
We're back on Friday, and one quarterback is just 13 months removed from the Super Bowl. But we'll tell you why his team might be ready for a huge change. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
The Eagles will bring somebody else in and let that person, that quarterback, compete with Jalen Hurts for the starting job. So this is not going, my understanding is it's not going to be automatically Jalen Hurts, you're the quarterback, but whether it be by draft, and wouldn't that be ironic? I mean, this is not going to go well over in Philadelphia if they turn around and they're drafting another quarterback.
That's Chris Mortensen talking about the Philly situation.
You won that one. I have no idea.
Well, Coos told me.
Okay.
I'm not going to take, no,
Good.
seriously, I'm not going to take credit for that one.
Well, all right. Did you feel good about that one? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about Allen Robinson. There was an article about him today coming up in just a moment. Before we get to that, something I didn't get to yesterday, Alvin Kamara getting into racing.
Yeah.
Okay? So now you have Pitbull, Alvin Kamara, and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And again, I've told you, but Randy Moss has been involved before. Brett Favre actually got involved in NASCAR back in the day. It didn't work. It was like a 2-year thing. And, we already always bring up Brad Daugherty, who's heavily involved and has been. It's almost like he's like a mainstay now. You forget about the NBA celebrity status. So when you have Pitbull from the music world,
yes,
whether you're 40-year-old divorced and driving a minivan or not, when you have Michael Jordan, like the Babe Ruth of all time.
You say best, but I know Larry. I know Larry Bird. Okay.
And now you have a guy like Alvin Kamara, who's certainly not on that level. I wouldn't put him, but he's a star in the NFL currently. So it almost brings like this younger generation.
Yeah.
And what does that have what do they all three have in common? They're minorities.
Yes.
Right? It's obviously Michael Jordan and Alvin Kamara and Pitbull as well. Mm-hmm. And so you're talking about a sport that has been predominantly white for decades and decades, who is trying to change a little bit. You can tell, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got that flag out of there last year. They have drivers from Daniel Suarez to Juan Pablo Montoya over the years to now Bubba Wallace. Mm-hmm. There is an attempt by NASCAR to become more diverse. They have programs, and they've had programs, by the way, in place for some 10, 15 years to become more diverse. It's one thing if you can get Bubba Wallace to be the star of the sport. And Bubba Wallace, by the way, is the one who brought Alvin Kamara into the sport over the last year, which is an interesting
Kamara
story.
Was like an instant fan once everything that happened. Like Kamara was in full support, obviously.
Absolutely.
And then his fandom grew from there.
And that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
And obviously Michael Jordan is supporting the car that Bubba Wallace drives.
Yeah.
How good can this be for NASCAR? It certainly can't hurt, but I'm talking about what level of good. You're not a NASCAR fan.
No.
I don't sit there and watch races on Sunday.
Yeah.
But when Michael Jordan talks about the sport, like he grew up, like we learned, he grew up going to races. Like he really liked the sport of NASCAR. This is genuine. This isn't just like, I've got a ton of money, let me do this. He's into it. Pitbull seems to be into it too. Like I saw the interview they did on Fox during the Daytona coverage, and he's really got nothing to do right now because he can't perform.
Yeah.
And so he's going to be at these races. I just wonder how much those guys in that sport, because I don't, this is going to really sound really bad the way I say this. I don't know if we have a more white sport than NASCAR.
I mean, I was going to bring up hockey as well. But I mean, there are a few minorities, and obviously there's European guys, but
that's a good call.
But for the most part, hockey too as well. But here's the difference between hockey and NASCAR. Like, listen, if you want to reach, the black community in hockey, well, you need black hockey players.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple as that. Like, that's the only way that's going to get the job done. And listen, NHL has done a lot in terms of racial injustice and stuff like that as well. They support the Black Lives Matter, and they did their part as well. So it's not like they're naive to the fact. It's just the fact that there's not a lot of black hockey players out there. Now, there are some. I mean, don't get it twisted. There's a lot more than what you're accustomed to seeing, but still, it's a predominantly white sport. With NASCAR, though, and with racing, it's almost like you have the power of influence a little more. Now, with all due respect to NASCAR, I think, like, why aren't other communities into that sport? I think, like, with the NBA and the NFL, like, listen, obviously they're predominantly black sports, but also it's the fact that they're always evolving. Like, you can only evolve so much in racing, right? I mean, yeah, sure, the cars can get faster or like the technology can be better. The safety obviously has improved. But overall, like, it's still the same track. It's still the same goal. Like, it still, essentially looks the same on TV. Now, they've changed the rules and try to make it more exciting, but it's still the same product, right? Just rebranded. And I think that if you didn't grow up with that as a kid, it's hard to get into it now because there is really, I mean, like I said, there's evolution, but it's not to the point of the NBA or it's not to the point of the NFL. And that can be hurting a little bit. So when you lack the evolution, you need something else to kind of bring that up a little bit. And that's where the power of influence comes in. So is it going to help NASCAR? It's not going to hurt it by any means.
No.
Right?
I don't think it can hurt.
Yeah. But, like, how many people are going to go, whoa, Alvin Kamara's in this now? Let me check it out. I'm not sure what that answer is.
We're talking about big-time influencers, though, and I have no idea. Alvin Kamara probably has millions of followers. Pitbull has millions. Michael Jordan, I don't even know if he's on Twitter and social media. Michael Jordan's a little bit different in this sense because it does feel like he's a bit detached from our everyday. As we know his greatness, but we don't. We watch highlights in YouTube. Like, everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's going to be front and center. And I'm not saying Kamara will be front and center. I'm not even saying Pitbull will be front and center in the main attraction here. But I think they have influence capability that Michael Jordan really isn't that interested in, from a social media standpoint, from where the kids are at. Because here's the deal. There's two things, like you said, hockey, NASCAR, need more minority involvement to make it so kids grow up that are minorities say, hey, I want to be like that guy.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like that, but it is like that most often. The other thing is there's got to be a cool factor.
Yes.
Right? Like, I think hockey, in a sense, hockey is really cool when? In the playoffs.
See,
right? Hockey's really
also, like, it seems like it's super inclusive. And, like, it's almost like, I don't call it like the underground sport, but it's like, people that are hockey fans are diehard hockey fans. Like, they'll talk about it all day.
True.
You very rarely ever see the casual hockey fan.
Hockey has a little bit of that soccer feel to it, where it's like, I'm a diehard fan and you're not.
Good call.
So get out of here.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
There's a little bit of that.
Exactly.
You said inclusive.
Yeah.
See, Major League Baseball's problem is it sometimes doesn't look cool.
Yes.
It's just it's slow game.
Yeah.
And that's why we just talked about in the last segment. You need Fernando Tatis, man. You do need home runs. You need that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think you need obsessive nature of that stuff, but I think we need to be seeing Fernando Tatis on SportsCenter.
Yeah.
Right? We need people talking about him. And that's what's cool about that young man. He's a dynamic player. He's attractive in a lot of different ways. And I think it's great for baseball. Now they have to wrap their arms around it because they can be archaic when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
NASCAR is more to me, it's kind of like the dad and kid sport. It's like I probably would grow up being more of a NASCAR fan if my dad took me to races when I was a kid.
Well, and see, that's the thing.
My dad didn't take me to baseball games. Well, excuse me. He did actually take me to some baseball games, football games, but he didn't sit there and watch baseball with me, football with me, basketball with me. But I still loved those sports. If he had taken me to races and he talked about Sunday races and locked into the race, which he didn't do, maybe I would be more of a NASCAR fan. But that's the way that sport feels.
Yeah. Well, and I'll be honest, like, growing up, my stepdad was a hardcore racing fan. So, like, every single year we went to Road America. We watched the Indy, not the IndyCar. The IndyCar races, excuse me. And then we went to Texas one year, Dallas Motors. Is it Texas Motor Speedway?
Texas Motor
Speedway. We saw one of those, but like I grew up around that. I was obsessed. I was the biggest Jeff Gordon fan you're gonna meet. I mean, I still got my Jeff Gordon shirt probably someplace in my mom's. But like I found like as I got older though, I don't want to say it stopped being cool per se. But all of a sudden, it just seemed like it all kind of blended together. Because, like, when I was coming up as a kid, it was either you're on team Dale Earnhardt or you're on team Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
But they don't mix. Right, I mean, like it's like all
two sides of the aisle. Yeah,
exactly. Like all the young kids and all like the new school kids are Team Jeff Gordon, and like all like my stepdad, the old school guys are like you better respect Dale Earnhardt, right? Like this is racing, and like you have this this Rainbow Warrior coming in with this this flashiness, and like I could relate with that, like I like that. And then all of a sudden, just like kind of that magic stuff kind of went away from me a little bit. I don't know if it's because I just got older or just because the rules, whatever the case may be. But like when Gordon left and everything, I was like, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it is what it is then.
Yeah, I'm a NASCAR guy on the periphery, okay? I don't claim to be this huge NASCAR fan. But I really believe NASCAR, you said it. Remember we had Stuart, we were talking about Daytona last week, and you said they're running this promo like greatest season ever, and they're doing like you're asking all these questions. Well, I think NASCAR, we had Chip Weil on from Daytona International Speedway. He was fantastic. Yeah. I think NASCAR is really excited about where they're at, not necessarily because, Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch and that stuff helps. Yeah. There's some name power there. You can debate whether there's enough of it in some respects. But I think they're excited about this part of it. I think that's what it is. Yeah. I think the more I put it together, the fact that Camara, Pitbull, Michael Jordan, these outside forces, whether they've been able to lure them, they were just interested in. Here's the deal. If Tom Brady and Peyton Manning get involved in NASCAR, cool, but it doesn't do much. Alvin Kamara, Pitbull getting involved in NASCAR?
Yeah.
Okay, well, now you're reaching a segment of the population that we don't touch.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to be an overnight thing.
Yeah.
But I wonder if we see more of it, too. Could this become the cool thing for sports figures with a lot of money of all races, men and women, that they start locking into and putting some dollars behind?
Yeah.
And if NASCAR does the right thing in terms of these spokespeople or if people see it's working, I think we could get, heck, you could get somebody from the U.S. women's soccer team investing in NASCAR.
You're not wrong, because like I said, I grew up in a household that loved NASCAR when I was a kid. But a lot of my friends who didn't have those same households were also NASCAR fans because of the public influence, and listen, we didn't have Facebook or Twitter back then. But I'm reminded of Nelly, the rapper Nelly.
Yeah.
He had a song called EI. In the song, he goes, "Call me Jeff Gordon, black SS with a navigation." Where the SS was the Super Sport Impala. And like, that had to be the first time a guy in NASCAR was ever in a hip hop lyric.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, dude, that was cool. Like the Chevy Impala was cool. Jeff Gordon was cool because Nelly said so. And it's like, dude, if this superstar Nelly is saying Jeff Gordon's cool, well, let's go then. Like I trust Nelly. Same thing now. Once again, whether you're a divorced dad or not, you're in a pit bull. That remains to be seen. But when you have guys like Alvin Kamara, guys like Michael Jordan, like. That's what you need. You need the cool guys to go, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Post Malone. You know what Post Malone is?
Yeah.
He's a rapper. Kuz, you can attest to this a little bit. Crocs. Crocs aren't cool. All right, let's be honest. I wore Crocs every day in the NFL because they were free. But, dude, no, because they're free. They're comfortable as hell. But Post Malone released his own series of Crocs. And all of a sudden, Crocs are cool now.
You could have connected with Brent better if you said Luke Combs.
Luke Combs. He has a
Croc. Oh, yeah.
Does he have a Croc line?
He's got a Croc line.
Anymore. Well, then never mind. The stock of Crocs
is
no longer cool.
I don't understand why. I gotta listen to Post Malone, but I can't listen to Luke Combs.
Kidding,
I mean, come on.
I'm kidding, as you can imagine, they were camo Crocs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Stunning development.
I'm sure that doesn't surprise anybody.
Grade or what? What's we talking about here?
Bottom line is, I think this could really be good for NASCAR.
It's not going to hurt, Brian.
And give them some credit for trying to reinvent themselves. I think this is why they're excited.
Yeah.
They went from a white, people will throw the term, quote, redneck sport.
Sure. Yeah.
And now they're trying to evolve.
Yeah.
And they don't want to lose their base either, by the way.
Yeah.
That's important to them, and it should be.
Yep.
Much like Major League Baseball has fought this because you don't want to lose the traditional baseball fan. But how do you cater to that next generation? These are real problems for some of the sports. And like basketball is fortunate. They don't have that issue. Yeah. They probably have other issues, but they don't have that issue. NFL, they don't have any issues. I mean, they're just a giant right now. But baseball and hockey's got its own set of issues in that regard too. And we'll see if they evolve and can get the masses. But I really like where NASCAR's headed here. And it'll be interesting to see.
Dude.
See, golf did it totally different. They had Tiger Woods. I mean, Correct. Tiger Woods changed the game.
He was
they had the great player.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know if Bubba Wallace could have the impact by himself, even if he was the best driver in the sport. I think some of these outside influences probably still need to help.
Yeah, you have to make it cool. Speaking of cool, Brent, these Luke Combs Crocs here.
Not bad.
How you don't have two in the closet already? I have no idea.
Those are pretty good.
But check this out.
Did he partner up with Duck Dynasty there?
Yeah, it looks like it. And he's got another pair too. This is a little more my style. He's got like his dog. I guess he's got like a dog named JoJo. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
You'd wear that.
I mean, I wouldn't wear Crocs in public, but like I get it. That's cool. Luke Combs.
Kaylee wears Crocs all the time.
Justin Bieber's got Crocs too.
They're comfortable.
I've never. I don't think I've ever put on a pair of Crocs.
You've never had the pleasure of putting your feet on. I'm talking sockless, obviously, in a pair of Crocs.
No,
you're doing your feet a disservice.
When I was
Brent,
working,
come on, man.
When I was working at the bar down in St. Augustine, we'd have to use them because they were like anti-slip. So you didn't want to like fall and obviously hurt yourself. So I wore Crocs for like 2 years straight at work.
Preach to them. They're so comfortable.
I got a lot of blisters, but it was because they were getting wet.
Soft.
And then my feet were.
The first person in history to say he got blisters in Crocs. Congratulations. rare air for Justin Coos.
By the way, did he also tell us, revealing today, that he does not go through the car washes?
Yeah, you did. You did.
The
movable car wash.
I've said that to multiple people.
I mean, I can relate a little bit. It's stressful. You have to put it neutral, and it's going to go up the track.
Get the tire in the track. Come on. Does this mean are you a bad driver, Coos?
No, I think I'm pretty good. I've only been in one car crash.
That doesn't mean I've been in multiple car crashes, but I'm a damn good driver.
My car crash was because I was eating pizza off the dashboard. So that.
Oh yeah. So it was your fault.
It was definitely my fault. Yeah.
I got you.
But I'm a pretty good driver. I just don't know if I trust myself in those machines. So I just rather go to one that I can just park and let the machine move around me.
I'm telling you, man, Brent, you can't go wrong with Crocs. All right, do yourself a favor and get a pair. Coos, you need to do what to do in the sink, like I talked about before. And Brent, yes, and you need to get a pair of Crocs, Brent.
I just have a lot of hygiene questions with that.
Don't ask questions. Just
don't ask questions.
Liberate yourself, man.
All right. As an old Providence College baseball camp, Coach Sjogren once said, he's now at Rollins College, and he said his kids wouldn't stop asking him questions at all, right? So he's the assistant coach at Providence College. They don't even have a baseball program anymore. But this little camp, and these little 6, 7-year-olds, they just won't stop. Yeah. And he says to the kid, what do you know about questions? Kid's like, what? Don't ask them.
Confidence shut down.
It was such a good moment. I've always remembered the quote.
I love
Coos, can you cue up our pitch to Allen Robinson?
Oh, yes.
To be here in Jacksonville. This was Super Bowl week. Jacksonville, we are trying to get A-Rob back here to the River City to play with Trevor Lawrence. This was some of it. Listen, A-Rob, this is it. You're a free agent. Come on home, A-Rob. We will make the next 4 years the best years you've ever played here in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer, Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark.
Mustard jerseys, they're gone. The old regime, they're gone.
We're ready to roll with Allen Robinson. A-Rob to Jacksonville. If you can't beat him, you got to join him. Ohio State 6-1 over Penn State in the last 7 tries.
What are you doing right now, man? This is backfiring like you wouldn't believe.
I mean, no, you got to join him.
Dude, you still got school pride. You can talk back about Penn State now all of a sudden?
I appreciate you guys, man.
Hey, one last thing. I'll leave you with this.
Didn't say no.
So many fans would love to see you come back if it works out that way. Good luck over the next month. Allen Robinson, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We love catching up with A-Rob. That was so much fun.
Again, though, you know what? I was not a fan of the Penn State comment, Brent.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, I wasn't a fan of it.
Did not turn him off.
I feel like we're in Shark Tank, and we had Mark Cuban on the line, and all of a sudden you had to say something crazy, and Mark Cuban goes, I'm out.
I've been watching a lot of Shark Tank.
Isn't it good?
So I love Shark Tank.
I've seen every episode, and I've seen
You know the craziest thing about
years old.
About Shark Tank is I don't care if it's like an 8-year-old episode.
No, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, so good.
I
literally just said that.
In fact, in the episode, I was in Clemson.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sitting there in the hotel.
Yeah.
And I watched like 3 hours at night of Shark Tank.
Have you ever bought any of the Shark Tank things?
Not yet, but I look them up all the time. I want to see how these guys are doing. Right.
So there was a it was a beanbag, right, down in Gainesville.
Okay.
A beanbag like company essentially that you can open up and it turns into a bed.
Okay.
I have one.
No kidding.
Yeah, I got it.
So they obviously got a deal on Shark Tank.
Yes, they got a deal on Shark Tank, and they're based out of Gainesville. I don't remember the name. It's like Corduroy or something like that.
Huh.
But yeah, I still have one at the house. It's like one of the most comfy things to sit on ever.
That's what's up.
All right, so Ty Dunn launched a website called golongtd.com, and he writes an article, and I think it was published today, on Allen Robinson. And the bullet points of it is Allen Robinson made his plan very clear. He tweets, market value contract, Super Bowl, Canton.
So
who? He got thinking about Canton and
in our conversation?
Because once I think I told him we can make him get him to the Hall of Fame with Trevor Lawrence, right? I gave him the comp. Like, that was myself.
Now,
that was
do we
part
get
of the
credit
pitch.
in this article?
We didn't get credit in this article. But
I'm out.
Either way.
Mark Cuban, I'm out.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think Allen Robinson has ruled out Jacksonville. He told us everything's open.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's like in his bottom half. I think he would come back here. That's my hunch. What I have a question for you is when market value means like $20 million a year, do you see the Jags? And you can take Godwin if you want, or Robinson. But do you see the Jags at this time with all that money saying, hey, we're going to go spend $20 million a year on a wide receiver?
I can help out Trevor Lawrence.
You can.
I think he's worth it. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Because that's a splash signing too. That gets people excited. That gets people fired up. I think the Jaguars could risk it for the biscuit.
It's interesting. I was asking myself that question today, and as much as I said earlier in the show, when you were getting your tattoo, I said, Allen Robinson's becoming like one of my favorite players of all time.
Yep.
Like I love watching the maturation process when he got drafted to now, and he's played so well, and I love the idea of Allen Robinson coming back here. I just don't know if the Jags at this time are going to pony up $20 million for Godwin, Golladay, Robinson. I don't think they're going to, especially with some of the success and the depth in the drafts of the receiver position.
I'll tell you what, I have another reason why Allen Robinson should come back to Jacksonville. In terms of what Allen Robinson is all about. I didn't get to talk to it with him when we interviewed him, but hopefully we'll tag him in this part, and then he'll hear what I have to say.
Can we do it after the break?
I planned on it.
Okay,
yes.
This was going to be
Let me
a tease.
go ahead and, yes, it's what we call a tease, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, good. That's coming up next. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Increasing cloudiness tonight with rain and a few thunderstorms later on as we drop into the 60s. It'll be breezy and much chillier for Friday with clouds and some on and off rain with temperatures falling into the 50s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jack's Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, zero interest financing with nothing down.
Men, do you feel embarrassed in the bedroom because of ED or PE? Would you like to be the man you used to be? Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. 98% of their patients experience a positive result from the treatment in just 10 minutes after just one office visit. Listen to Dr. Brown, a specialist in men's health.
Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications for ED or PE designed just for you. There's no pain or surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, not a problem. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Contact Prime Men's Medical Center to schedule a private consultation. 904-664-8217. You'll see results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Have you seen it? I'm talking about the all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota, where they're celebrating with savings all month long. So what are you waiting for? Right now at Arlington, take your pick. A new 2021 RAV4 LE or a new 2021 Tacoma SR. You choose. 0 down or buy for just $299 a month. This is a purchase, not a lease. Celebrate with savings and come see the new showroom at Arlington Toyota today. Shop safely in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/February for full details.
Join the movement to end colon cancer. March to Get Screened is celebrating its 12th year supporting colon cancer awareness and life-saving screenings. Held on March 28th, March to Get Screened is a family affair including a 5K race, a 1-mile fun run, and fun activities for all. Safety measures will be in place as well as virtual participation options. All proceeds benefit the nonprofit Borland Groover Foundation. Register today, donate, or for more information, head to marchtogetscreened.com. That's marchtogetscreened.com.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After the crash, call the police and document the scene by taking photos of all the vehicles involved. If you were injured, get medical attention as soon as possible. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Don't miss the Gun Show this weekend at the Ice and Sportsplex, featuring guns, knives, ammo, and more with concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. at the Ice and Sportsplex on Phillips Highway just off Emerson, Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, and trade. See you at the Gun Show.
The Players' Championship is a proud supporter of Angelwood and its mission to serve children, adults, seniors, and families living with intellectual and developmental differences in Jacksonville. It's 19 days until the Players.
Hey, do you owe more than $25,000 on your car, a truck, or that toy in the driveway? Refinance your auto loan with One-to-One Financial. We'll not only lower your payments, but we'll put $200 cash in your pocket. Plus, we have the lowest loan rates in town. Make some room in your budget and put more cash in your pocket. When you refinance with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Apply today at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Are you getting engaged? Celebrating an anniversary or birthday?
You're in luck. It's Beards Diamond's most exceptional finance offer of the year.
5 years, 0% financing with nothing down.
Yes. Shop Beards Diamond's everyday low prices on anything in the store or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Then divide your total price by 60.
And that's your monthly payment with absolutely nothing down.
How about a $6,000 3-stone designer setting?
You pay only $100 a month.
Or a $4,500 1-carat diamond solitaire pendant necklace.
You pay just $75 a month.
And every purchase at Beards Diamonds is backed by our free lifetime warranty.
Now you can go bigger and get her the diamond ring she's always dreamed about.
And spread your payments out for 5 years and pay absolutely nothing in interest.
But hurry, Beards Diamond's incredible 5 years interest-free financing with nothing down is only available for a limited time. Shop now at beardsdiamonds.com or at the St. John's Town Center.
Get the lowest prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed, at Beards Diamonds.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Austin Lane.
And Tony Khan clap back. There you go, Kuz. There's your clap back for you.
Clapped.
So,
It's a
clapped.
gamer thing.
Eric Clapton. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a good gamer name.
I'm using that tonight.
Gamer name.
Check your boy, I'm Eric Clapton.
Oh, that's so good.
Brent Martineau.
Yeah. You guys just had a moment.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I'm laughing at this because I would put a lot of money. I would bet a lot of money on the fact that whoever this one NFL team is, I guarantee you they are not the team with the first pick in the draft. Do you know how many times I've called the NBA draft where I've spoken to scouts or I've talked to GMs and they would say, oh, man, Jay, I think I got this guy rated over that guy. And then I see them with the pick and they don't take the guy that they say is rated over the guy. Well, I just, look, I didn't think I could do it. I don't know about my job. There's a lot of public pressure on this. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to be in a position to actually do it. So that's fine that this one guy who's anonymous, but that seems just like, hey, I'm going to say something for the sake of saying it to me.
It's Jay Williams, Zubin, Jay, Keyshawn in the morning, 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here on ESPN 690. And that's an interesting talk about the pressures of the GMs and the organizations in the draft, especially near the top of it. I had somebody tell me when we were talking about, it was like sometime last fall, talking about the second pick.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not, about like Fields. Not so sure about Fields, but you might be, the word was compelled to pick Justin Fields because the mass of people, now at that time, Zach Wilson wasn't as hot.
Correct.
But just think of it. You are compelled to take a guy because, well, the backlash if you don't, everybody's now convinced that this guy's the second best guy in the draft.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so that's very interesting. And I think some things add up from Jack Del Rio's story that he once told right here on ESPN 690 to stories that we've heard in the past of an emotional draft room here in Jacksonville back in the day to Shad Khan even saying, well, we've got to learn from the past that we need a plan going into the draft in the war room so we're not making decisions right then and there, and almost in an emotional way. So it shows you that those emotional decisions and sometimes forced decisions happen, and people lose their cool in that spot, and they're planning. They either go off the radar. I bet sometimes it works, right? And so it's like, well, I did this. I had a hunch. Boom, it worked. But I would say 9 out of 10 times it probably doesn't work. So that's an interesting point by Jay Williams. Allen Robinson, we continue to pitch him to Jackson. Got to keep in mind now, my angle of the last segment was more, will Jacksonville spend that kind of money on a receiver? I think they could spend that kind of money on like Leonard Williams.
Yeah.
But will they spend that kind of money on a receiver? Do they need to do that? Do they wait in the draft? Do they get a more moderate level receiver to bring in with Trevor Lawrence and still help him out? I think that's the big question. And I think teams, especially at this stage of things, are a little bit unwilling to spend $20 million on the wide receiver position when you just went 1 in 15. Although you do have to think of what can I do to help my quarterback, and especially in this case, Trevor Lawrence out.
Without a doubt. So listen, I teased this a little bit. And why would Allen Robinson come back to Jacksonville? Because let's be honest, he wants to go to a Super Bowl. He wants to go to the Hall of Fame, all this stuff. And not to say that he can't do that with Trevor Lawrence, but, I mean, I think where we are right now, Brent, there's other teams on paper, a la the Green Bay Packers, that probably have a better shot right now of going to the Super Bowl than Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, let's be realistic here a little bit, folks. But I'll say this, and I want you to follow me here a little bit. Allen Robinson, where's he from, Brent? Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit area.
Yeah.
Yep.
Detroit. And I spent some time in Detroit. Now, when I say I spent some time in Detroit, I had a cup of coffee in Detroit, all right? I had a cup of coffee and a bagel, basically. It was about 4 or 5 weeks. But when I was in Detroit, so this is back in 2013, right? So this is right before the Flint water crisis and kind of all that stuff.
Okay, yeah.
But you got to remember, before the whole water crisis, Detroit was still a city that was in a rough light.
Oh, yeah.
It was still a city that was trying to rebuild. And I'll be honest, when I got the call that I was going to Detroit, I was like, seriously, that was my first reaction. I'll be honest with you. I was not the most excited to go to Detroit, Michigan. When I get there, and I think I've told the Murder Bear stories before, right? Have I told the Murder Bear story? Yeah. So basically, long story short, an intern picks me up from the airport. We drive past this fence on the way to the practice facility, and there's this fence filled with teddy bears. And I'm like, dude, what's up with all the teddy bears on the fence? And the guy's like, oh, those are the murder bears. Yeah. I go, what are murder bears? And he said that every time a kid was killed, they put up a teddy bear for him. Brent, there was hundreds, I'm not exaggerating, hundreds and hundreds of teddy bears on the fence. So I'm like, dude, I don't want to be here. Okay, like
desolate, despair, those kind of words. I mean, think pandemic. Before there was a pandemic, it was Detroit.
It was Detroit. So I had the preconceived notion of what Detroit was. Okay, But as I kind of went around the city a little bit, as I saw the fans on game day, and I'll be honest, if you've ever been to Detroit, you know the game day experience. It's nothing special, okay? Because the stadium is right downtown. So you get people tailgating sometimes in alleyways. But I'll say this. You got this sense from people from Detroit that they knew better, like something better was going to come.
Yeah.
Like they were going to put their, to their hand to the grindstone and help build this thing and make it better than it has been. And I get the sense that's kind of what Detroit has become. It's become a better city. It's become a little bit of an economic boom now. And obviously there's still problems there, but it's better than when I was there. Yep. Okay. And I get the sense that if you're from that area, and it's almost like you want to see the job get finished, right? Like you want to put the work in and you want to see it through. That was the vibe. Every restaurant that I went to, every Walmart, every hotel that I stayed at, and the workers were there. Like, that's the vibe that I got. Like, they're like, yeah, it's nothing right now, but just wait. Like, we're going to see this thing through, and it's going to be better. And now Detroit is better. I wonder if that sticks with Allen Robinson a little bit. I wonder if that mindset of coming from that kind of area, because let's be honest, it's not about where you come from, it's where you're going. But you always take where you come from with you, okay? So I like to think a little piece of Detroit is still in Allen Robinson. I like to think that Detroit mindset is still with Allen Robinson. And if that's the case, let's be honest. You played in Jacksonville, okay? You never went to the playoffs. Well, you went to the playoffs, but you weren't part of that.
Yeah, because he had the injury.
You never went to the Super Bowl, all right? Yeah, you were acclaimed, and you went to the Pro Bowl one year, but the job's not finished, right? And I wonder if that, sinks into Allen Robinson's mind a little bit. That there's more work to be done, that you want to see this thing through. You want to go back to the place that gave you that opportunity in the first place. And now that the culture is obviously different, there's new players in the mix, I wonder if that encourages him to come back and say, you know what, I want to give this a try again.
It's a great point. It is part of the makeup of where he is. I also say this. I don't know if there would be another fan base more excited to get Allen Robinson than this one.
Yeah.
There's you talk about like that makeup. There's a little bit of loyalty here with the fan base and A-Rob. It's interesting because a lot of players that leave, it's like, see you later.
Yeah.
And A-Rob wasn't like that. And they kind of have seen what he has done. And by the way, there wasn't even animosity toward the organization really from the fan base that much.
Terms. No. It was just that was a business.
It was that's how the business shakes out. You get hurt. It doesn't work out. You go and you do well, and they come back. So I think the door is open for that. And I believe, listen, you know this. I mean, it's human nature. Mm-hmm. A player, there's no doubt Allen Robinson feels the love from Jags fans. I mean, he knows they would like him back. Yeah. So I don't think this is really about Allen Robinson. This will come down to money and situation. But it also will come down to, would the Jags be willing to spend that kind of money? That's where I'm kind of at today, is more, okay, Allen Robinson might have a decision to make. But when you're talking about $20 million a year, there's only a few teams that can handle that.
Yeah.
Like, you really limit your pool of candidates. I don't know if the Jags are going to jump in that pool, if I'm being completely honest. Mm-hmm. I would love for him to bring Allen Robinson back. I'm just telling you what I believe. I'm not sure they'll jump into that kind of pool in that position. I'm hoping they jump in that pool once or twice this free agency season. Leonard Williams, and Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, Justin Simmons. Like, I think it's okay to get two of those guys, spend some of that money. I just don't know if they'd allocate it toward the receiver position where they've invested draft picks. Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark. They're going to invest money in DJ Chark, by the way, too. They'll have invested a little bit in Colin Johnson. And there are other players out there. It's a deep class. There's a lot of names out there. I think the top 3 or 4 guys certainly have separation. But there are like 43 free agent wide receivers. There's also another 43 are in the draft, and the Jags have 11 picks. So that's what my hesitation is well, they will they pony up that kind of money for that position? Not for Allen Robinson, for the position.
And that's the thing, though, right? Because there's two sides to it. The one side, you want to say, well, let's be honest here. You're getting Trevor Lawrence. Help Trevor Lawrence out. Most important position in all of sports. So if you bring Allen Robinson in, well, the stock of Trevor Lawrence drastically rises now. And it's already at an all-time high, but it even goes higher, exponentially higher.
Yes.
And I get that point. But the other side of that is it's a luxury, okay? If you brought in Allen Robinson, it's a luxury because wide receivers right now are not the problem of the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Interior defensive lineman, possibly a safety position, but there's bigger holes to fill than the wide receiver position. And that's what it comes down to, I think.
I saw a stat today, I think, most NFL cap space in 2021. And because they came out, the cap was like 180. It's at the minimum, it's going to be 180. And it's not going to be too much more than that, like 188. So it's going down from last year in the last few years. And the Jags will benefit from that. So over the cap has cap space, $74 million, almost $75 million. The Jets are number 2 on that list. They could afford a guy like Allen Robinson. New England Patriots. I've seen a lot of people predict him go to the Patriots. The problem is, who are you playing with? So again, like if I'm the Jags, like you want to play with Trevor Lawrence, you want to play with unknown quarterback in New York, unknown quarterback in New England. Indianapolis just ate up a lot of their money, I think, with the Wentz deal. The Bengals, they have some money. Washington has probably enough money to be able to do it. They don't have a quarterback. Denver's a little bit weird on the quarterback front. I mean, actually, the Jags make a lot of sense here. The Jags, the Jets, the Patriots, I think all make sense from the dollars that they have.
Where's Green Bay at?
But again, Trevor Lawrence is going to win that. You know, that's a checkmate. We got Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Right?
But where's Green Bay on that list? Are they lower on the bottom?
Because
once again, if you buy into the Von Miller hype or the Rashawn Gary hype, I don't know Rashawn Gary. I mean,
if I'm
J.J. Watt
looking
hype.
at this correctly, it looks like they're over the cap right now. They're going to have to lose cap
but
space.
they're going to lose Aaron Jones. I don't think they're going to re-sign
you're
Aaron
right,
Jones.
but they're hefty.
Yeah.
They're like $20 million over.
Sure. Okay.
And again, some of the numbers are. I think this is an update as of today. To be honest,
has a team ever not been in the? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah, I might do this tomorrow. I didn't have time to do it today. If you take a year ago today where the Jags were at in terms of the look of their organization versus right now and leading the thing in cap space and everything else, it is unbelievable. I know we've talked about it like so much.
Sure.
But it's just amazing the position they are in. They did an incredible job of shifting. That is one thing. I don't know if you get credit for that when you go 1-15, when you get fired as the GM or fired as the coach, and whether we should give Shad Khan more credit because he had more control, it seemed like, of some of that stuff in the last 15 months.
Yeah.
Whoever's responsible for it did a terrific job of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost was like you couldn't do it better.
Yeah.
Like you really couldn't pivot any better. You had to wait up a year, had to suck it up in a year. But it was an unbelievable. And by the way, there's a level of luck involved in here, too.
Sure.
Thank you, New York Jets.
Yes.
But it's just amazing what it looks like here from a business standpoint.
This is a way too early prediction and a calculation here. But you said it. They shifted. They're on a new direction now. My question to you, Brent Martineau, how many wins do the Jaguars have to get this up-and-coming season to say it was worth it?
Well, I saw somebody predict, we'll talk about this tomorrow. I saw somebody predict that the Jags could be picking first again. And that ain't happening. First of all, it was worth it because whether they are right or wrong, you are getting a guy in Trevor Lawrence that you've never had. Sure. So it's already worth it. I don't think it's about 21 per se. Okay. That being said, I believe this team should get to feel good about where it's going more so rather than is it worth it.
Okay.
Somewhere between 5 and 7 wins.
Yes.
At a minimum.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to go crazy and say they should get. But I think if we're sitting
to California,
I think if we're sitting here and the Jags have the 5th pick again because they were 4-12 or 3-13.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel good. You know, it does not feel good to me. That means something's amiss still.
Okay.
And they didn't fix enough of it. Because, again, I think you can make the case they have some players that are capable of winning. They lost 5 games by 4 points or less. You know, can you win 3 of those games? Well, bam, all the way, you're up to 4.
True.
Right?
True.
So I would say I think that's fair. I mean, you can't – turnarounds in the NFL are not often drastic. The reason why most teams make the playoffs the next year after not is because they went from 7-9 to 10-6.
Yeah.
That's 3 games. That's a monumental difference from year to year in the NFL. The San Francisco 49ers going from whatever it was, 3-13 to Super Bowl is an anomaly. And you can't plan on that. When you have 1 win, if you win 6, that's a hell of an improvement.
Absolutely. Agreed.
All right, I'm going to get out of here. I got some high school baseball.
Hey, go get them, Ty. Kaylee, good luck to you if you're on the mound again today.
Yeah, so we're going to get a head start on that.
Hey.
We'll see you on TV at 6:50 on
Be
Fox
honest.
30.
Kaylee's first start, she dominates. Do you sense a little arrogance now? Should she walking a little taller?
Yeah, she's confident.
Swag, okay. A little swag. Okay. Yeah.
Which is good.
Got to keep them grounded, though, Brent. Gotta keep them
I
grounded.
try.
Yeah.
Try.
Keep him grounded.
Hopefully,
awesome,
Ty has some swag after today, too. We'll see.
Let's get it, Ty.
I don't even know if he's playing.
Hey, we'll find
I have
out.
no idea.
He's rocking the 2-5? What number is he?
Number 5.
Number 5. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you'll finish up this segment. And
got you.
we'll finish up a week tomorrow. Live Local Loud, by the way, coming up at 6 o'clock. I'll see you on TV, CBS 47, Fox 3. We'll have a lot of high school action from boys basketball, even some lacrosse, I think, tonight as well on TV later on tonight.
Anything you want me to talk about so you can have a nice little drive to the game? Anything you want to go over?
Get to Steph Curry is lighting it up.
We got
Are
you.
we surprised by that?
Say no more. We got you. Steph Curry coming back.
We'll Drive and Dish podcast next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Thursday. I'm Jake Mitchell. The Urban Meyer era will begin by taking a step back. The team announced on Wednesday that they'll be going back to the teal jersey for home games. In other Jacksonville sporting news, Tim Tebow is retiring from professional baseball after 5 years in the Mets minor league organization. However, Fernando Tatis Jr. is not retiring. In fact, he's going the other way. The 22-year-old just cashed in with a 14-year, $340 million deal. Here's Sarah Spain, ESPN radio host.
Not new anymore, but it felt new a handful of years ago. Now, Tatis certainly has proved himself. He's not a gamble as far as can he be a star. But anybody for 14 years, $340 million, anybody is a gamble. This is just the way baseball is headed, though.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
As a parent or grandparent, deep down, do you worry that your child may not be able to defend him or herself if bullied? That they may be introverted, too attached to electronic devices, and their grades are suffering? Karate America teaches 7 steps designed to ensure a lifetime of success for your child or grandchild in a safe, sanitized environment with all necessary precautions taken to prevent COVID. Please visit karateamerica.info to fill out a survey and learn if they can help your child.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now, Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Mark Anajar from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. After the crash, call the police and document the scene by taking photos of all the vehicles involved. If you were injured, get medical attention as soon as possible. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Join the movement to end colon cancer. March to Get Screened is celebrating its 12th year supporting colon cancer awareness and life-saving screenings. Held on March 28th, March to Get Screened is a family affair including a 5K race, a 1-mile fun run, and fun activities for all. Safety measures will be in place as well as virtual participation options. All proceeds benefit the nonprofit Borland Groover Foundation. Register today, donate, or for more information, head to marchtoGetScreened.com. That's marchtoGetScreened.com.
Get ready for Shopability Saturday, a way to support Jacksonville businesses that employ individuals with autism, Down syndrome, and other intellectual differences. Visit connectablejacks.com to see the Shopability map, then shop away on Saturday, March 6th.
If you're usually listening to ESPN 690 in your car, but your boss has you working from home this week, well, take us with you. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax. Tell Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy all that sweet listening coverage.
The Max Kellerman Show.
Patriots had
nothing on offense, nothing on defense, just because they have Bill Belichick even without Cam Newton. They're 2 plays away. They're 4-5 right now. They're 2 plays away from being 6-3 with wins over the Dolphins, Raiders, and Ravens, who they've actually beaten. And the 2 close ones were the Bills and the Seahawks. They're good.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. And now, watch exclusively on ESPN+.
This one will probably be the most impactful thus far of his career because it would tie him with Michael Jordan for 5 MVP awards. He would be the oldest player in the history of the game of basketball to win the MVP. And then think about look, they go on this crazy run last year through the pandemic with the season being off for a month and a half. They come out, they win a world championship. Yay. In the bubble. They then turn around, have the quickest turnaround probably in NBA history with 71 days off. LeBron hasn't taken games off like people thought he's gonna load manage at the beginning of the year. Like, hasn't done that. He's been playing out of his mind. And now they lost AD for probably a month or so. And if they find a way to stay at the top of the Western Conference, and then he's going to win this award. I don't know how difficult of a road this has been for LeBron to play at this caliber, Key, at this level. At 36 years old.
That's Jay Williams talking about, well, maybe one of the front runners to win the MVP award in LeBron James. Kuz, do you get the sense, like, let's be honest here. I mean, the Lakers are a damn good team, 22-7 right now. Second place in the West behind, of all teams, the Utah Jazz, who saw that coming. But, like, do you think with the way the season's kind of shaking out, like, do they take a little away from the wins and losses now in terms of the MVP, right? Because, like, you can realistically say with AD out now that the Lakers could finish maybe 3rd or 4th in the West. But to me, that doesn't really matter. Like, LeBron and the way he's playing is probably still going to get the award, assuming he can stay healthy.
I think the only way that you really talk record in terms of the MVP vote is if they're the best, like record-wise, the best team like we did with Giannis last year.
Yeah, sure.
Or if they're like barely making the playoffs, but they're the star on that team, kind of like Westbrook was on the Thunder he was.
Yeah, the guy was a walking triple-double.
Right. I think they ended up being 6th in the standings that year. So I don't necessarily think it matters too much. I think if LeBron James and the Lakers are even in the top 5 in the West, there's going to be an argument for LeBron to be MVP. There's legitimately an argument for him to be MVP every year.
Yeah.
This year, it's just really everyone's hyper-focused on he's doing it at this age.
But then, okay, so let's look at it like this, though. And I want to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit here. And let's say that record really is taken into account with the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say like the Jazz keep doing what the Jazz are doing right now, and they have the best record in the NBA. Right now, they're 24-5.
Sure,
let's say they finish with the best record in the NBA. Why isn't anybody talking about Donovan Mitchell then? Like I feel like Donovan Mitchell's an afterthought right now. And am I wrong? I mean, obviously, Driving Dish Podcast, you're more in tune right now to the NBA than I am. But I feel like Donovan Mitchell's not on the tip of anybody's tongue when we're talking about, great players in the NBA. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think you're not wrong. I think if you were to ask anybody that watches the NBA right now who their top 3 would be for MVP right now, they'd probably say some combination of LeBron, Joel Embiid, and Jokic.
Yes.
And then you'd have a few people that might throw Curry in there and Antetokounmpo in there.
I would throw him in there.
I know. But I think that would be a big part of it. Now, I think there is a case for Donovan Mitchell if he's the best player on the Jazz and they have the best record in the NBA.
Yeah.
I think right now everyone's kind of more in a, like, let's see it by the end of the season. Like, yes, they're playing really well now. They started, if I'm not mistaken, kind of slow. And so, or at least Donovan Mitchell did start slow. So, and he played really well in the bubble. So if he can get back to what he was doing in the NBA bubble, like when they were going up against the Nuggets, and that was like they were just throwing 50-point games around back and forth like it was nothing. So if Donovan Mitchell can be doing that, especially on the second half, for the entire second half of this season, I think there will be an argument. I'm convinced no matter what Donovan Mitchell does, no matter what Joel Embiid does, no matter what Jokic, Giannis, Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, huh?
I think no matter what they do, LeBron is going to have the age argument, which I don't know how you argue against it, especially if AD is out for an entire month and LeBron balls out and keeps the team where they are, or gets a better record.
I'm looking right now at the Golden State Warriors. 7th place, 16-13.
Right.
Obviously, Klay Thompson out. KD, we'll see you later. They're essentially, and it's crazy that we were saying they're rebuilding, but they really are. I mean, they're not their full team, obviously.
Well,
their
their
full
rookie, he hurt his wrist, if I'm not mistaken. He was out for a little bit.
Are you surprised, though? And I guess, I was naive to the fact that Steph Curry is so good, right? And even when he gets hurt, Steph Curry's game, if you get hurt, well, that's fine. He doesn't play a physical brand of basketball. The guy has a little more finesse, and obviously he's one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter of all time. All due respect to Ray Allen, all due respect to Larry Bird, obviously, as well. But, are you surprised how much Steph Curry has taken over, or should we have all seen this coming? It's just the fact that we got caught up with KD leaving, we got caught up with Klay Thompson getting hurt, and all this stuff.
You got caught up with everybody leaving. He was injured. It was an entire season that he was essentially out. NBA is a very what have you done for me now league.
You're not lying.
So you forget. You move on. You see the Donovan Mitchell highlights. You move on to that next person. You're looking at Bradley Beal dropping 60 points. You move on. And then Curry comes back and does it, and we go, oh, yeah, he is that good.
Yeah. Last question for you, then we'll get ready to go here. Luka Doncic, playing pretty well, but I get the sense that what we saw, that Luka in the bubble, I get the sense that there was going to be this guy's MVP next year, hands down. This guy can do it all.
He was the betting favorite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. Say no more. Vegas even agreed with me. What's up with him right now?
I think he's still playing really well. I think the Mavericks are playing pretty decently.
Yeah.
I think the problem with him is his efficiency from the three-point line. Really, I think it's around 30%. He's never been the greatest shooter in terms of percentage. He gets these nice shots. They just don't go down as much. So I think he's still playing really well. It's just everyone put a really high expectation on him. And record-wise, I guess it hasn't necessarily lived up to that.
Well, and that's the thing with the MVP award, too. I mean, unless you're averaging a triple-double or not, you got to score points, right? And you got to have those shots as well. All right, well, that's another show today on a Thursday on Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what kind of quarterback news takes place tomorrow. Don't sleep on it. We'll see, man. I mean, the way the quarterback carousel is rolling right now, we might have to get off pretty soon because I'm getting kind of dizzy. But we'll see what's up tomorrow here on ESPN 690. For Justin Coos, I'm Austin Lane. Go with the Ty and Kaylee tonight. Brent, we'll see you tomorrow, dude. Have a good one. Y'all take care. Peace. We're out.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talent Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need